Let me do a mic check real fast. Camera on that. Audio's on that. Think I look good on that. Let me come up. Let me turn the volume down on YouTube. And then if somebody hear me, let me know. Let me know. Let me know if you can hear me. I just need you to put something in the chat for me. Let me know if you can hear me. Where's my chat button? Yeah, let me know. Why is this on this channel? Oh, that's cool. So it's like 125. We're gonna get started in a few minutes. So I don't know if you catch the playback, you can just go up, scroll up. What's up, Sharita? What's happening? What's going on? Let me come back over here to my StreamYard real fast. Why don't I see your comment over here? That's weird. There we go. All right, that delay. All right. What's going on, Miss Bagby? What's good in your world? What's good in your world? Okay. What you writing on? What's the subject matter? Yeah, what you writing on? What's the subject matter here? Let me come over here to YouTube. Everything. Everything. Is this a book or is this a journal? What is about to happen in business and finance? Yeah, man. This these goddamn doomsday fall of America people, they may be having a wish, you know. They may be having a wish. I was having this conversation in the house, man, about, it's to the point I don't know if I want to use leverage, meaning I don't know if I want to get loans, or even refinance the same thing to be on the line for something. You know what I'm saying? Because I only got all my properties was free and clear, and then I went and put two loans against them just to extract some equity to go buy more, which means I bought two more that are free and clear. So I don't know if I want to keep playing the game, although at the end of the day, you will have properties that's free and clear. But in extreme worst case scenario, like a '07, '08, if values happen to go south or where they at, and you don't have nobody making that payment for you, no tenant, the tenant's rent is either absent or it's not covering what that mortgage agreement is, and the value of the home is now less than what it was when you first went in there, and it can't even service the debt. Meaning, if I sold the house today, the house value, I would still owe the bank some money. That's not good. And I know of a guy who only buys cash because he was in the '07, '08 and lost everything because of the way he was leveraged. So he has a horrible experience and will only own cash. And I get it. When you own cash, there's nobody to share your money with, so you get more cash flow. The caveat to that is, of course, you lose a lump sum of your money, if not all your money, you know what I'm saying, when you put it in this particular deal. So technically, it's going to take you a longer time to get your money back. Whereas if you just give us a piece, we'll put up all the money and just pay us for 30 years. And we're going to make a shitload of money, but it's going to be in 30 years. Well, technically, 15 years, because usually the interest is heavy up front and then they recoup, they get all the interest up front and then worry about the principal for the last half of the term. Ingenious. But yeah, I'm very cautious at this point, very, very, very cautious at this particular point because um you know I don't we is this place going to become like Mexico where you go buy you a Snicker and they want $15? You know what I'm saying? Because it just is, it don't have the same value anymore. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to sell two houses right now and then I can't sell them because the market is scary and prices is declining and it's just interest rates are going up. You know what I'm saying? Which I think I should pull those. I didn't even pull that stats, but since we talking about it, Sharita, I got inflation up. Let me go see if I can find my interest rate PDF, not PDF, Excel sheet. So bear with me. If you're new to the channel, this is Spiritual Politics. Brand new channel that we just started. Let me cut my phone down. My ring be going off. But just started this channel. Do me a favor. It's only a few of us here, but everybody click the thumbs up button for me. Click the like button. Helps YouTube, the algorithm, as they say. And I want to go over to history notes and election, the Fed funds. Here we go, the Fed fund rate. All right, cool. All right, got the Fed fund rate, and let me get rid of this spreadsheet right here because I don't need it. All right, cool. I didn't color code it like the rest. All right, cool. So where we at on YouTube? Where we at? You've been watching banks to short the GIC. What's GIC? I mean JIC. The market drops, especially the auto industry. What you got for JIC? What is that? Everybody that's in here, like the button, like it. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. What time is it? It's 1:31. Oh, we only 1 minute past the starting time. So again, just in case, got you. All right. So again, this is Spiritual Politics. Let me get into some quick little announcements. Let me share my screen a little bit for y'all. Share my screen. I'll share my entire screen. It's cool. Ain't got no problem with that. All right. So couple quick little announcements that we have tomorrow, Friday, April the 14th. Will be Who Won't Smoke with Abe Lincoln right here on Spiritual Politics. I may even put that on Hip Hop Astrology until I clean it up. But yeah, Who Won't Smoke with Abe Lincoln tomorrow. That's Friday at 8:30 p.m., giving people time to get their butt off work, especially if they're on the East Coast. Central Time, it'll only be 5:30 on the West Coast. But I'm looking for any detractors or Abraham Lincoln naysayers. Salute to, I can't really pronounce the name, but he was in the chat. Two brothers was in the comments on this channel, Spiritual Politics. Two different videos, but they had a nice rebuttal. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing I never heard before. I know everywhere a person is going to go when they go and try to put Abe Lincoln said this. Well, he said that. I know what he said. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to show you the contrary. And so what I'm really looking to do is to have a space where we can have intellectual conversation, so much like courtroom style in a sense. A lot of podcasts, to me, they have no organization when it comes to any level of debate, whether it's the manosphere and men are going against women and trying to prove this points. It's a whole bunch of hollering and talking over each other. And it becomes more of an emotional bullyism, who's the loudest, wittiest versus the actual content of what's being said. So anyway, the only rules that we have over here is you got to mic up, cam up, come on the camera. Second thing is while you're presenting, the listening party's microphone is muted, so they can't interrupt. The only thing the speaker has to say when they're finished is, I yield the mic. Once you yield the mic, you go on mute. The other person opens up and do their thing and whatnot. And so we're really looking for great intellectual dialogue. I can't wait. I'm just gonna put it out there. Jew is coming. When he saw this, Who Won't Smoke with Abe Lincoln, he was like, nigga, I should do who won't smoke with Jesus? I said, there it is. You got to. And so the things that we love and endear, even teach from, those are going to be things that we're going to ask. Who won't smoke with? Just put it out there. You know what I'm saying? And if you person again got something to say, email me. You know what I'm saying? So if you know somebody, forward this to them. But they can email spiritualpolitics777 at gmail to come on the panel. You know what I'm saying? And I'm shut my mouth and you do your thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's gonna be tomorrow night. Hopefully, I get the two brothers that made the comment. Hopefully, I commented it on the comments, replied. I said, "Don't worry, I'm gonna create a show. I create the show. Tell them, hey, I created the show. I dropped the email. Hey, email me. Let's have this conversation. Bring it. You know what I'm saying? So bring it. Email me spiritualpolitics777 at gmail. Saturday, and again, that was Friday. That's tomorrow at 8:30. Now, Saturday, I'm gonna go on Hip Hop Astrology TV, the other YouTube channel, which is Hip Hop Astrology TV. Okay, I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna talk about this new moon eclipse in Aries that's coming on the 20th. This is a double energy, okay, because it's coming. April 20th is the last day of Aries. That's called 29 degrees. So in a couple minutes, the moon will be at 0 Taurus. Okay. And so that means if you got anything in Taurus, the Taurian energy is connected to this Aries eclipse, and eclipses are very powerful. So anyway, I want to show that most importantly, people get to come in and hopefully y'all hit the link where y'all can join in. Come on, camera, let's start having this dialogue versus you putting it in the chat. Have this dialogue and let's look at your chart in real time and whatnot, and we can have a conversation about it because the goal is to help you understand, this particular science. All right. So that is going to be Saturday at what time is that Saturday? I want to say Saturday at 1 p.m. I think it is Saturday at 1 p.m. Hip Hop Astrology TV. Okay. Over here at YouTube. All right. Now let's get into the subject at hand. Was Trump good for Black America? Okay. That's the subject matter. All right, hold on. So before I do that, let me just come back and check on everybody. Make sure we straight. All right, good. All right. All right. OG Bruce Lee, what up? What up? All right. All right. So was Trump good for Black America? All right. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys again real fast. Uh-oh. That's a Chrome tab. Hold on, y'all. There we go. All right. So, one, let's look at the Black unemployment rate. All right. The Black unemployment rate, which I'm going to pull stats. As you can see, this is literally coming from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. Okay. You can drop it down into a spreadsheet, download it, and it goes all the way back to what? This one goes back to 72. Now I color coded things because pop quiz me. I can tell you who was who won the presidency that year of the election in every election in United States history. You know what I'm saying? I've been challenging myself to remember that. So if you say the 1960 election, I can say Lincoln. If you say 64, Lincoln. 68, Grant. 72, Grant. What's 72 plus 4? 76, Rutherford B. Hayes. Right? So that's 76. 76 plus 4, 1880. Who came after Rutherford B. Hayes? Oh, Garfield. Then after Garfield was Cleveland. After Cleveland was Harrison. Then it was Garfield again. Like, come on. Like that. I love this thing. So anyway. So I color coded it, and we're looking at the far column annual, which is the average of the year, the Black unemployment rate. Just the Black unemployment rate. So since they started in 72, shout out to the 7 Deuce Cut Dog, the Cutlass Supreme. This was the Nixon Ford administration. Okay. Now, the reason why I have green highlighted here is because when they first started recording from this point right here, Nixon had it at 11.2, the Black unemployment rate. So this is the first time since the recording in green that we're going to see, the low in the sense. His low is again 9.0. That's his low. Okay. So 9.0 in green is his low. But the reason I have 9.9 started because it highlighted in orange is because in history, Nixon was a part of the Watergate scandal in which he had to resign. That took place August of 74. The black unemployment rate is 9.9 at this point. Okay. So now, since the inception, 9.0 black unemployment rate is the record right now. Okay. So Carter comes in. I never forget, man, my trainer, when I was in corporate, he couldn't stand Jimmy Carter, that damn peanut farmer. But he had, Carter would have some of the highest black unemployment rates, and his average, I put the average by their name, right? So his average was 13.3. The unemployment rate is going up from the previous administration when Carter gets in. And now we're going to get into the Reagan years, which is very interesting because the Reagan years is a critical point where black people fell off. I need to make a video on that. In fact, I am. Black people fell off during the Reagan administration. We call it the war on drugs. You can call it what you want to call it, but this is one thing I am going to say because I too, my rap sheet ain't nothing but the dope game. You understand? And so I'm coming from a motherfucker with experience. I know what it's like to sell them things. I know what it's like to even be when you first coming up as a shorty and you got rocks and you selling it to pregnant women, which y'all hear me talk about, that I feel like, some things happen where I don't even have children on this plane because of my own karma. And I can man up and take that. You understand what I'm saying? Because that should be a part of the evolution. So anyway, I'm going to do a piece on the Reagan thing. Because we like to blame Reaganomics as we call it, but ain't nobody making us sell dope. Ain't nobody making us do anything. In fact, and excuse my rant, I'm about to go on. I don't even like the idea of us saying that, that's a trap to entrap us when they tell you the punishment of messing with this. Oh, nigga, you want to sell bricks? This is going to get you this. You get caught with this. This is going to get you this. So it makes no sense to have a plan where one, they can't force you to do it, but two, they give you the rules they give you the rules of punishment, right? They give you the rules of punishment as the result if you get caught playing this game that we ain't making you play. So I can't chalk that to no white supremacy. If it's weak, it's whack. Because I can't stand when you say you don't have control over yourself. You know what that means? That means you're a slave because only slaves don't have control over themselves. And since we don't have physical shackles, you must have mental shackles if you think that way. Okay? All right. So in 83, we have the lowest black unemployment. The highest black unemployment rate at 21.2. So remember, Reagan wins the 80 election. Reagan come back around and wins the 84 election, right? So Reagan's last year in office, Reagan's last year in office is going to be what? If he went 84, I mean, he's going to step in 85. So his last year in office is going to be what? I think 89. Yeah, his last year in office is going to be 89. All right. So anyway, Reagan's era is, high, 21.2, 19.9, 20. In 1983, in 83, it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? So 83, 84, 85, like these 3 years are some crazy years up in here. Okay. If y'all can see that. All right. These 3 years are some crazy years, but 83 being the worst because we average almost a 20% black unemployment rate. Okay. So, all right. So he gets the high 21.2. Daddy Bush come in, and we decreases. His average is 12.4 compared to Reagan's 15. Clinton come in, and Clinton, Clinton gets the pass because Clinton got some sloppy toppy in the White House. Every heterosexual man, shit, probably even some gay men, like if you like receiving oral sex, this was the coolest thing in the book. Okay, without a shadow of a doubt. And then when he went to Harlem after he left, he got the Black Pass. And he already had a nice, smooth, raspy voice and whatnot. So y'all know the saying, Clinton was the first black president. Don't act like we ain't never heard that shit before. All right. So Clinton in 98 will match the all-time high, which started again with Nixon at 9%. We would go below that in 98. But in 2000, a new record was set, as his all-time low during the Clinton administration, April of 2000. For the first time, we reached a flat 7%. Okay. Now, Bush Jr. So now Clinton is the record holder at 7% in green. Bush Jr. comes in. And the reason I have it in orange, because December of 07 starts the 07-08 crash that me and Sharita was talking about earlier, right? So this is going to be known as the Great Recession. And he's going to endure pretty much 12 to 13 months of this, okay? December of 07 and all of 08 is his. But then your boy Obama gets inaugurated in 09 of January, okay? He gets inaugurated. And what's very interesting to me in the Obama years is in 2000, if the Great Recession is over in orange of June in 2009, I just want to know historically, 2 years later, a little past 2 years later, right, in 2011. Remember, though, the recession is over in June of 09, but in April of 2011, I mean, damn near 2 years later, we had a 16.5% black unemployment rate. Why is it getting worse 2 years later? Then in August, we pretty much tied it at 16.4, right? So I want to know 2 years later after the recession, why are black people still going through the highest, going through these high unemployment rates? Why is it increasing? The last time we saw the 16s was Reagan. So Obama finishes with a 12.9, damn near 13, only behind who? Reagan number 1 and Carter number 2. So Reagan's number 1, Carter's number 2, Obama ranks number 3 far as the black unemployment rate. Again, and he only had 6 months of the recession. George Bush it was an 18-month recession. George Bush had 12 months. Had a whole year. Obama had half the time, and then 2 years later, the black unemployment rate is going up. I don't know what's up with that. He got some nice inflation numbers, or maybe Federal Reserve rate numbers. Yeah, he do. But that's mainly recession based, and I'm going to show that as well. So we get to Trump. Trump comes in, inaugurated in 17, and as you see in green, his first 6 months, Trump hit he ties the record with Baby Bush at 7. Actually beat it by a point 10. So Trump comes in his first 6 months, he matches the record. Okay. Now, a lot of people say, like, well, he got it from Obama. Because, yeah, if you look at Obama's numbers annually, Obama's numbers was on the decline. When Obama left, when he finished 2016, that December, he finished with an 8% unemployment rate, right? Up a half of, from the previous year, and up 2 from 2 years before that. So he was on a decline. But if you notice, all of them be on a decline. After we reach Reagan, technically we on a decline in a sense, right? And so now Biden comes in. Oh, Trump gets the record. A new record be set, in August of 2019. So as you can see, Trump holds the record at 5.3, the lowest black unemployment rate ever. Why? Because before that was Clinton with 7%. Here come Trump at 5.3, August of 2019. Okay. Now, March of 2020, they said was Corona. That was the beginning. Although the stats came in at 6.8, these two numbers here start to get in those Obama numbers. Let me highlight that yellow. Those start to get in the Obama numbers because now April, May, we're feeling the effects of COVID. Okay. So it took COVID for the Trump economy to match Obama's economy as far as black unemployment rate goes. Okay. Interesting. All right. And now we're finally at Biden, and Biden does hold the record if they ain't forging the books here, but it's currently in March, the unemployment rate was at 5.0, which means what? In January, when it's 5.4, he ain't beat Trump record at 5.3. In February, it was 5.7. Trump still got the record this year for January and February. Makes me wonder the timeline of Trump announcing he's going to run. I don't know. I got to go back and look. Now, all of a sudden, the black unemployment rate is at its lowest. Interesting. Even if that just happened to be a coincidence, it makes perfect sense because the black unemployment rate was at his lowest when he was in office. So if you're saying, hey, we ain't trying to make Biden look good by fudging the numbers here, and I say I believe you because I don't have no proof of that, then what a coincidence. The black unemployment rate goes to its all-time low when Trump raises his flag. Very interesting to see, but I need to go back and do the homework on that. Okay. So right now, Biden holds it. So basically, we're in a great place in Black America in a sense, right? Would you say? All right. So let me stop the screen. Let me get some feedback from y'all right now. Let me get some feedback from you. Go, my buddy. What's up, Aaron? Do you know if the unemployment rates exclude people that are self-employed? I do not know. That said, let me look at the top of that. I pulled it. Unemployment rate, percentage rate, 16 years or older, Black or African American, 1972 to 2023. That's all I have on that data sheet. So I can't say. I don't know. All right. All right. OG Bruce Lee, if you lost your job during COVID, you was getting paid good. Ooh, yeah. The Trump stimulus had people nice, right? The Trump stimulus had people, it was nice. You know what I'm saying? In comparison to, like, when you become an investor in real estate, like, or you own a home, mortgage, and you're paying property taxes, like, you see that your property taxes, they be like, yeah, we spent $13.02 for the new library that's around the corner from you. We did road improvements, and you can remember the construction. So now you see your money working for you. Like, when you ain't got no property, you don't know where it's going. You know what I'm saying? But when you own property, oh, they tell you. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, that was an interesting time. It was an interesting time, but you start to care. You start to care more. And I say that because yesterday I dropped a live stream on on what was I was on Hip Hop Astrology real fast. It was entitled Aquarius Multi-Personality Disorder, and I was playing around. But I was out in the field at some of my land parcels and whatnot. And so we cleaning up because they be throwing trash. And so we cleaning up, and I think the public housing people, the tenants who are on some type of, obviously, government assistance, I think they should have to be the ones to come outside and clean up their own neighborhood, especially if the trash is coming from them or a company coming to visit them. So they on their way and they got some Don Julio and they threw the empty bottle out and whatnot while they rolling. You know what I mean? Whatever it may be, even if it's not your doing, but since you live in subsidized community housing that my taxes pay for this entire area and your taxes don't, right? I think your ass should be out here cleaning up. So one girl came and she pulled in with her son, got her little son, 2 kids out the back seat, little kids and shit. It's like, thank y'all for cleaning up. And I'm like, hey, you welcome. I wanted to say, and I don't know why I didn't, because I started to, hey, send your little soldier over here. Put some gloves on him. Send him over here, which I'm about to start doing. You know what I'm saying? Because why the hell am I out here and I'm the one that own all this and I'm paying taxes around here and y'all get pretty much free housing where it don't come out y'all pocket. You get y'all asses out here and clean up. That's how I really feel. You know what I'm saying? So when you start owning stuff and investing in your area, you start to care about this stuff. Okay. All right. So now let's take a look at some let me see here. So we did the black unemployment rate. So let's talk about inflation today, man. Right? So inflation is going crazy. You know what I'm saying? Which means the cost of the dollar, it costs you more, right? To be able to get things. Hold on, let me go to the entire screen. Let me share that. So it costs you more to be able to get things. And it's crazy, man. So let's look at some inflation rates. So as we can see, Again, I'm coming straight from the Bureau of Labor and Stats. I think they started in 82. Okay. Oh no, they went all the way back. They went back to 58, but I didn't color code that. What I did was I started in 2001. Okay. 2001. What we talking about here? Who's your president in 2001? And so 96 is Clinton, 2000 is Clinton as well. So I think I started right here. Well, I don't know why I got that red. Or am I tripping? Let me see here. Help me out here. 96. Yeah, Bush is 88. 92 is Clinton. 96 is Clinton. That's what it was. 92 is Clinton. 96 is Clinton. 2000 is Little George. So Little George come in and won the November 2000 election. He doesn't get inaugurated into January 2001. That's why I started right here, and that's why it's red for Republican. Okay, so it starts with Baby Bush is what we started with. Okay, so if you look at the annual rate of Baby Bush, or just look at his numbers, his overall score is an 8. I'm sorry, a 2.1. That's his overall average as president. So Baby Bush in red that I just highlighted in December, his average is really a 2.1, or I should be able to take this annual thing. They got it at 2.2. So he's like 2.1, 2.2. It's his annual average when you're dealing with Baby Bush. And that's a low inflation rate, right? And so what we need to do is just kind of look for some anomalies here and whatnot. And so after Baby Bush and we come into the 09, this is about to be the Obama era, right? Obama averages 1.8. So the inflation rate under Bush and Obama does slightly better than Baby Bush, right? And then we get in the Trump era right here in red. You see his average is 2.0, right? So 2.0, Obama 1.8, slightly higher in the Trump era. But here's where we're running into a problem. So inflation ain't really never been a problem like that in the past, from what I've seen. Is till we get into this 2021 era, whatnot, which is crazy, which is basically the first business year, fiscal year, in a sense, calendar fiscal year for Mr. Joe Biden, because although he won the 2020 election, he won it in November and he wasn't inaugurated until 2021. And it's always like around January the 20th. And so technically, you really ain't running shit until February. For real, for real. January is pretty much done. So anyway, 2021 is all the Biden stuff. First year went up 3.6 in comparison to 2. Like inflation went up a whole percentage, and now it's doubled from last year. It looked like it's potentially going down from January and February numbers and whatnot. But last year we was at a 6.2. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, have we ever seen that anywhere else? When have you seen 6s? I'm scanning the sheet. Yeah, it go all the way back. I'm seeing 6s. Like we had 5.9 up here in 82. Right? I don't know if I'm seeing any 6s anywhere else. And I'm just doing a quick scan real fast. Yeah, I don't really see no 6. It go 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 9 to straight 7. So 1982. 1982. That's Reagan. Because we already saw 83 was a crazy ass year for black unemployment rate, but 82 is a crazy year with inflation. And then his inflation numbers in the 80s go crazy, 80 and 81, as you can see. So we ain't been in this pocket of space since 1982 dealing with inflation under Biden right now. You know what I'm saying? So again, we go back and we look at Biden's numbers on inflation. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you taking us in a whole nother direction. We've never seen this, shit. What's 1.7 and 1.7? That's what, 3.4, right? 17 to 17. Yeah, it's 3.4. So he more than doubled Trump's inflation in 2021, his first year in. Right? Trump's previous year was 1.7. 1.7 and 1.7. He doubled that. That's 3.4. Biden is at 3.6. And then he doubled his own self damn near this year. Well, 2022 to last year. You see what I'm saying? And it looked like we on rate for about 5.5, 5.6, which is still horrible. Again, we haven't been here since the Reagan administration, ladies and gentlemen. In the 80s is, I never forget, shout out to my, hey man, it's like my rap mentor. I'm gonna come back and let me stop the screen. But my rap mentor is no other than 40 Fonzarelli. No other. You know what I mean? Like, I remember when the world went crazy. Remember the click tape? I remember when the world went crazy back in 1985. I remember when rock cocaine used to be a rich man kind of high. Till one day in my neighborhood, motherfuckers started having fatty. What do you say? They was hanging out the window yelling bass rocks, nigga, bumping Two Shows, blowjob Betty. Nobody be putting, man, listen, 40, that gummy starting to kick in, by the way. Must be of legal age, of course. I'm not condoning anything, but it's definitely, that's what's kicking in. But 40 be dropping game. I gotta do something on 40 on hip hop astrology, man. Write that down. 40 on hip hop astrology. I got to. I absolutely got to. Because I was thinking about this the other day. That you know, like game. What is it about game? It's like a lot of people's raps may be about selling dope, shooting somebody, but it's never a lesson. Like to put you up on, like, that's game when it gives you a lesson. I don't want to hear a story. Give me a lesson. And no better. I'm telling you, E40 hands down. I'm saying that now. I'm saying it, you know, but that's just game, man. That's game. You know what I'm saying? That's game. I got some shit in the vault on this subject matter. All right. So anyway, all right. Oh yeah, I am. It's the gummies be doing that shit. So black unemployment rate, we see that. We see the inflation rates. Let's get into one more thing. Very, very key metric, man. Key metric. We should understand this. I should have color code. Well, I did color code this. So let me see here. 77. That's Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter came in 76. All right. So now let's look at the Fed rate, right? Because see, in my space in real estate, as you can't see because I'm in the real estate office, but the Fed rose the rate back on February the 1st. Then they raised it again on March 22nd. Their next meeting is 5-3. All right. So you literally got, like, I got this on my whiteboard right here. You know what I'm saying? And the current Fed rate's like 5%. And if you don't know, the Fed rate is what the banks charge each other to lend each other money. Well, in my world, the investor world, my lenders may be starting looking at prime. So what's the prime rate? The prime rate is the Wall Street Journal prime, and it's like 8%, which is usually on average 3% more than the Fed rate. That's the rate that the banks charge the people. So bank to bank, 5%. Hey, let's change this big money with each other. I'm cool. I get it. All right. Now, when we put this money out to work, 8%, because I got to pay this 5%. So it looked like I'm grossing 3% in interest. Because when they loan me money, I'm paying 5. So when I'm loan you money, you paying 8. I'm gonna pay them back that 5, and then I'm gonna keep this 3. Makes perfect sense. I'm with you. So we want to pay attention to this rate. Interest rates goes up, people are afraid. Again, I got houses on the market right now that's been sitting over, one's been sitting for over 40 days. The other one ain't even been on a week yet, right? And so it's like, this is interesting and whatnot. But I don't mind. I'll keep it in cash flow. That's where the game is at anyway. So hold on, let me share my screen. Let's look at some bank rates. And then I would love for y'all to come on. Take the link and join me. All right, Fed rates. Okay, so the reason I have it in blue, again, I'm starting on February the 1st of 77. Why? Because Jimmy Carter wins the 76 election. Again, elections November, inauguration becomes January. So I started in February because in February, if he got inaugurated on January the 20th, 77, then his numbers really don't kick into February. All right. And so February of 77, we see that his the prime interest rate, or I'm sorry, the Fed rate was 4.68. Okay. And so we're just gonna kind of just scroll down. You start to see it starts to get high in 78. Again, this is Carter, where he has some serious problems with black unemployment rate that we saw. And then running into this blue is Reagan as well, because Reagan did come in 19. What Reagan wins? What was that? That 80 election? Yeah, he wins that 80 election. So really, 81 becomes his inaugurating year in a sense, his year of power. And Reagan had a 19.8 interest rate. Interest rates was crazy. I can remember being approved for a house back in, let me see, my son was born in 98. So this is at about 2000. Yeah, in 2000. So we'll see what it was then. So in 81, Reagan, Reagan's at 19%. In 2000, when I was approved for that rate, they was locking me in like at 19% as well, 18, 19%. Back in 2001, and the owner won out of it. I was, at that time, when am I, like, I don't know, low 20s, 24, 25, something. And I don't understand it, so I didn't pull the trigger on it. Be honest about it. I didn't understand it. I was up at night. Who old enough to remember the Carlton Sheets programs? They used to come on late at night, the infomercials. You know what I'm saying? No money down real estate. And then it was green and gold. I had bought the CD packs to that then. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, like super duper early. And then I ain't touched real estate until many, many, many years later. And it's absolutely something that I regret. I regret it because I wouldn't touch it until like maybe about 17 years later. You know what I'm saying? Like I regret it. And I started buying properties in that same area. In fact, the house I got approved for. In fact, I should do a documentary on that real fast. But a quick little story, pull up on it. The very first property that we got was 3 streets over on the same 100 block, on a 900 block. Was my very first one when I got in the game 17 years later. Back then, 17 years prior, they used to have dollar houses. You can get a house for $1 type stuff. Shit would have been stupid cheap to acquire it and just sit on everything, But I guess better late than never. All right. So moving on in the red here. We switch regimes, right? Reagan is here in red. And again, the Reagan years are just high, man. It's just super high. It's super high. So I'm gonna speed it up. Reagan, he ended up having a 9.78 average. When we get to Bush, Daddy Bush 7.58. That's the interest rate we're talking about, y'all. Right? Clinton got it down to almost 5. All right. Baby Bush gets it down to 3. Now, this is interesting because remember, 07, 08, we about to get into the Great Recession. Right? So now interest rates is about to go down to freaking 0.9, not even 1 point during the Great Recession. What does this tell you? When the country's in a recession and they're giving money away for free, 0.97%, and it even gets lower, right? It's free money. This is when you buy up the block. The people with the money is waiting for this kind of opportunity. The people without it, or perhaps trying to get it, is fearful of this opportunity. I hope this really sinks in. Because the players at the top can't wait for this kind of opportunity. The market gonna crash. Come on and crash, please. I'm loaded. I'm ready. We've been hustling. Now we trying to take it all. Money's cheap. Okay. So very interesting. Money is cheap in 09. All right. Let's speed it up. We know it's because of the Great Recession. Okay. So some of this '09 runs into, I mean, yeah, obviously we about to start rolling into the Obama years rather. So when we get into the Obama years, this '08, '09, it's the Obama years. He finishes with a 0.33. The interest rate averaged 0.33% with Obama, because Obama inherited the last 6 months of the Great Recession. All right. But to keep rates low, that low, Jesus Christ. So now we get in the red in the Trump era. Even in the Trump era, I'm mad that I really wasn't using leverage. I've been playing cash. I should were you using leverage? Even in the Trump era, it was only 1.33. Add 3 points to that, hard money gonna charge you 4%. That's damn good in comparison to 11% today. All right. So Trump finished with a 1.33. And this is where we're currently at. And I ain't even do Biden. I wasn't going to even bring this PowerPoint up and whatnot. But we know Biden is here at 4.577. 4.57. So Biden's rate is currently 4.5. And again, the Fed just raised the rate back on May. So this is February. This ain't even updated. We at 5% right now. Okay. That's a fact. We have 5% right now. So now the rates start to climb back up under the Biden administration. So inflation is up and interest rates is climbing up. You know what I'm saying? Whereas everybody else, it seemed like there was a seesaw effect, at least, So this is just interesting data, y'all, to pay attention to. But again, Trump had a better rate than of course, Biden in a sense. Obama definitely had a better rate. But again, we saw an extended long period of time of the Black unemployment rate when we was in the Obama era, right? All right, man. So we're currently at a 5% interest rate. Interest rates are up, ladies and gentlemen. What is the current inflation rate? Current inflation rate, we know we saw as being what? 5.5, right? So interest rates is up, inflation rates is up. Interest rates, it costs us more to borrow money, and then the thing you want to buy with the money costs you more than it did a year ago. It actually almost, inflation double, like it's crazy. And so it's I don't like it. I don't like it. All right. So Trump has set the record. I've seen something where it says, looking at some notes here, that Trump actually tied a 08. The labor force participation was at 63.2%. And it hasn't been that low since 08. And Trump was able to reach that. I did look into that, looked at those stats, and I saw that. He said record lows of poverty. I couldn't substantiate that. It was supposed to have been 1 million people out of poverty. Also said the median income is 4,000, increased by $4,000, and it hasn't seen that since like 14 years ago. In fact, it ended a 14-year decline, right? So the median income for Black people has been declining for 14 years. But at the arrival of Trump, you actually go up 4K. Now, this is something else that's very interesting, is because when it got to the weekly median earnings, it said Black people was at 1.8 under Obama, and white people was at 2.1. Almost average, about the same. But under Trump, our 1.8 in median earnings went up to 4.1, while whites only went to 3.4. So under Trump, we actually outperformed white people when it came to an increase in our weekly earnings. I'll say that again. Under Trump, they just reported that Black people in their weekly earnings made more than white people. Okay. My favorite is the Tax Cut and Jobs Act of 2017. I have to show you something here. Everybody should be we need to Google this. You need to study this, YouTube it, talk with somebody, because this is major, super major. All right, super major. So hold on, let me go to share my screen. This is super major. All right. So let's just look at this diagram. So it says timeline of potential benefits of an opportunity fund if we're investing in 2020. So today is 2020. You sell your appreciated asset, and within 180 days, roll the capital gains, the profits, over into an opportunity fund. Okay, cool. So I don't have to pay no taxes now, because within 180 days, I'm going to take all the money, the profit, and what I put in, and I am going to go put it in an opportunity fund. So then it says 5 years from now, year 5, you get a 10% discount on your original capital gain tax obligation. So to me, the way I understand this, and I was held back second grade. I was gonna say I failed, but my mom held me back second grade, and I think, as I gotta talk to them about that, that's the year my parents got a divorce, and that was the first year I lived without my father, and I was held back that grade. I want to talk about that. Boy, that'll make my dad hot as him. He'd be mad as hell. But anyway, so the way I understand year 5 is this: if you make $1 million profit, and let's just say it's $1 million profit, and we got to pay taxes on that million, you get a 10% discount on your original capital gain tax. So 10% is coming off that. All right. So I can see that two ways. Is that 100,000 that I don't have to be taxed now because I got $1 million in profits and you're gonna tax me this, so you take 10% off that? Or if I get $1 million, I pay you out, but it's the same math at the end of the day. So anyway, you get a 10% discount though. And that's interesting, because if I made $1 million and you say, well, I ain't gonna tax the $1 million, I'm gonna take 10% off of that. That's 100,000. So now you're gonna tax me 9.9. So I get $100,000 that's going to be straight profit, no tax. Cool, good looking. Thank you. I keep 100,000 of my dollars in this scenario, right? Then they say in December 31st, 2006, your original deferred gain is recognized. I don't know what that is. What did my profits is recognized. Now in 2027, you can declare and pay taxes on the original deferred gain minus 10%. So I'm kind of lost between those two, to be honest with you here. But this is what I do know. If you go 10 years, any capital appreciation of your opportunity fund becomes tax-free. So even the basic failed second grade, held back second grade, y'all can understand. It clearly says in year 10, you won't have to pay any taxes on your zone now, on businesses in the opportunity zone. Now, the way I always understood, let me come here for a minute, okay? The way I've always understood the opportunity zone is, one, opportunity zones are always in the hood. That's what opportunity is at. That's interesting, because now someone has a vested interest inside of these blighted areas. Must we name the names? Baltimore, Philadelphia, Chicago, Gary, Indiana, all the inner cities, okay? You know what I did? I did this last week. I looked at a list of mayors for Detroit, Philadelphia, Baltimore, just a couple spots, Cleveland. And I just was curious, when was the last time these major black cities had a Republican mayor? And you will be surprised. The Democrats been running these cities as far as mayor campaigns go. Crazy, right? So anyway, I wonder if there's a correlation there. I really do, right? But the opportunity zones are in the hood. And so if I put a brick and mortar business there and I'm getting the money, you know what I'm saying? You're telling me in 10 years, when it comes to some aspect of my profits, is it all my profits for 10 years? Or is it, what is, some aspect, they're telling you, you don't have to pay taxes. because we just want you to invest in your community and keep it there for 10 years, man. But even if you go for just 5, just give me a little piece. I'm gonna give you a 10% discount though, because you kept it there for 5. That's incentivizing the business person. Okay. That's a different mindset. It's a different mindset. I'm about to pick on my dad. Man, they ain't gonna never put nothing over here on this side of town. Who is they? You know what I say every time I go past blighted businesses, especially if it's a business and like it's a business district that's depressed, which is weird. But even when you go through urban areas and the storefronts look like shit and it ain't thriving businesses, you know what I see? A lack of entrepreneurial commitment and possibly the lack of entrepreneurship altogether. They ain't gonna never put nothing over here. Do you want the government? That's what you're talking about. The government's job is not to put businesses here. The people's job is to put businesses there and communicate with the government that you're doing business. So now we can do business together. But as the government, it is not our job to put businesses there. It is the entrepreneur. It is the people's job to do that. This is not a communist nation where the government runs everything. Right? So I understand that mindset. And again, I have people take poll tests. Seriously. Aaron to tell you, I promise you. Like if we doing some work together, you got part of the work, take a poll test. Because like this thing literally is a battle of the minds, as you very well know. As you very well know. Little kids can pick genders and ain't even old enough to buy cigarettes by law, but you telling me the same kid got a right to have surgery to permanently and or that can potentially damage their physicality? Nah, man, there's something's wrong with that. What do you mean? Maybe when you're of legal age, but how do you get that right? But you can't have a drink? I'm lost. Are you serious? You know what I'm saying? And so anyway, this is all about the people here. Okay. And so we get this big tax incentive that we don't have to pay no taxes. But that makes sense when you understand real estate. So if you ain't hip to something in real estate, y'all, there's something called the 1031 tax exchange. It's IRS code 1031. Okay. 1031 says, hey man, you got some property. Before you sell this property, I need you to get with a qualified intermediary who communicates to us, the government, that says, hey, we're about to sell our real estate, but it is our intention within 6 months, 180-day, remember? That's within 6 months, we are going to, well, in 3 months, we're going to identify something to buy. And then within 6 months, we're going to close on it. Okay. And so the government says, wait a minute. So you about to sell all your property, but you're not going to put the money in your pocket? No, we're not going to keep the money in our pocket, Uncle Sam. We actually want to invest back into the community. That's what we do. We're business people. Uncle Sam says, okay, bet. Do that. Find a business within 90 days. Once you go in contract, I'll give you 6 months to get all the funds together to close it out. But identify something. Could be 45 days, 45, 90 days. Memory slipping me a little bit, but there's a small window to find something. Cool. We're going to find it. No problem. Close on it. Now, Uncle Sam says, cool, I'm not about to tax you. So say you made that $1 million again, and Uncle Sam won't, let's just say a cool 30%, right? We should say more like 40, but say, yeah, 40%. That's $400,000. You walk with 6, they walk with 4. That's almost half your money. Okay. So 40% you want to get at the Uncle Sam. Or do you say, you know what? I'm going to roll that over. I'm investing back in the community. And Uncle Sam says, oh, go ahead. Yep. Approve that it's like real estate. Go ahead. Keep your money. So now your purchasing power, if you understand leverage, oh my God, your purchasing power. your purchasing power. So I hope I can explain this in a way that you understand this. And it's simple math. If you're not good at math, damn it, pause it, rewind it, write it down, because this is some shit you need to know. Okay. So if you got $1 million, but you just got taxed 400,000, you only got $600,000 left, right? Okay. So let's just say we're going to use that as a 20% down payment. Only thing we got to do is take the money we have, 600,000, and times 5, right? 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Okay. Right? You with me? All right. So now we're going to say, well, what's 600,000 times 5? Y'all tell me what that is. With 600,000 times 5. Okay. Give me some feedback. What is it? 600,000 times 5. We know it ain't 30. Right? So what's 600,000 times 5? Somebody give it to me in the chat. Nah, for real, Sharita, they ain't thinking like that. I'm telling you, man, it's like the entrepreneurs, and I refuse to believe that the entrepreneurship ain't there. Like, I know the entrepreneurship is there. You know what I'm saying? All right, so we got 3 million, right? So now that means I can take the 600,000, go to the bank, and the bank say, yeah, you qualify for something for 3 million. You just put the 6 down. We're gonna put up the rest. Okay. Now, if we had our whole $1 million, because remember, Uncle Sam took what? He took 400,000. So say we had our whole $1 million. What's $1 million times 5? Which I would say 5 million. So now we qualify for property up to 5 million. You understand? So 5 million versus 3 million. By us paying Uncle Sam, we just shorted ourselves $2 million in value of what we could get, although Uncle Sam only got $400,000. That $400,000 is worth $2 million. Y'all understand that when you playing this game? Do y'all got that? Let me know if y'all got that. Give me some 7s in the chat if you got that. Y'all got it? I need to get that ab lid from 40. This is some shit you need to know, man. Y'all got that? Put it in the chat if you got it. Let me come over here. You got it? Cool. All right. And y'all the special, man. Y'all the special 6. All right. So listen. That's a problem. So now Uncle Sam says, listen, man, I ain't gonna tax you. Go ahead and get that 5 mil versus 3 mil. Get that 5 mil, do your thing, and keep doing it again. And I'll just get you on the back end when you're ready to cash out. Because when you're ready to cash out, what do that signify to the government? That we the people are saying we no longer have a financial interest as far as a business in the community. That's what we're saying. So at that point, okay, let me tax it. You're trying to exit out the game. Trump incentivized the business owner. It is sickening to me. To me. All right. You know, again, we be taking these political tests, man. The rich should be taxed to lower the interest rates for college students. That was on a quiz that I took. The rich should be taxed to pay for a lower interest rate for students. By law? Okay. No. But I'll meet you in the middle. And the middle would be whatever I give, then you are going to match, since you want your citizen to be the best, which is educated, the best in class. You want me to pay for it, right? For something that when they become a profession and you're going to tax them and you're not going to reimburse me what I put in, you tripping. But if you want to match what I put, we doing it together. Stop playing with me. Where they do that at? That's the equivalent of saying, I got a job. I'm a business owner. Sharita, you're going to come give me your time and I'm not going to give you no money. If I got to take my earned dollars and give it away to help somebody in a whole nother section that's not related to me, they about to go to school or get a loan from you, they about to get a loan and go to school, right? I just gave them money to do something that's unrelated to me. We're not saying give them money from your taxes and then your tax portion, they're going to go learn what you're doing. So when they finish and got a degree, they can come work with you. It's not what you're saying here. What you're saying is we're just going to pay to help them get lower interest rates. So let's assume, and it's a good chance that that person is not going to help bring that money back to my pocket. That will be the equivalent of me telling that person, hey, stop what you're doing and come over here and work for me, but I'm not going to pay you anything. It's not going to be a benefit to you. In other words, how does it benefit me that somebody has a lower interest rate? And this is a real question that you ask. Oh, well, people become educated, and I believe in that, as they should, and hopefully they become a better citizen in the world. Okay, cool. So what you're really asking me to is to invest in their well-being. Okay, I have no problem investing in the well-being, but to make it mandatory upon me, I got to look at that, because then I ask myself, well, why wouldn't I want that to automatically come out? That's a good question to ask. But to sit there as the government and not do anything about the citizens that you want, and you're the one that's giving them the loan, and you're the one that's going to get taxes off of it, and that's a two businesses you got your hands in. You understand what I'm saying? And you want to do it at the expense of me, and I have no financial return. I'm sorry, that's not fair. It's just not. So I can't answer that. I can't answer that question. Like, no, in fact, absolutely not. We should not be taxed. Why should we? See, when you get in this game and you're a millionaire on paper, why should we be taxed more? Because we got it? Like, I'm black. What are you talking about? I think we went through the same experience. In fact, I dare say my experience is way rougher. I don't get this. I get it, but I don't get it. And the reason I say I get it, and I can give them a softener here, is because what we're really yearning for is the Aquarian principle of common unity. Should all people have access to health care, and money shouldn't be a barrier to get rotten teeth in your mouth, man? That'll create poison in your brain. Like, okay, like, should we, yeah. There's certain things that feels more of what they quote unquote will call social in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Where money should never necessarily be the reason why you can't preserve health. Because without health is anything. You know what I mean? It's like health. That's you can't. Oh, you're gonna die because you ain't got access to what's out here. It costs. That's a problem. Without a shadow of a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt. I can't say that it's not. Right? All right, man. Sorry I got off on that tangent, man. So anyway, when you're not paying the tax, you are empowered. There's a book you guys should get called Tax-Free Wealth by Tom Wheelwright. We read this book about 2 years ago in the book club. And Tom so eloquently said that if the tax code was like 900 pages, 700 pages is the government telling you how not to pay taxes, what they incentivize you as. And I said, well, God damn it, that's genius. That totally goes against what I thought the IRS was. Oh, and I got some stuff on the IRS, right? IRS was founded by Abraham Lincoln. Their first director, George Boutwell. You better go do the math, go do the knowledge for real. Boutwell was an abolitionist against against white folks having slaves. What? The first director of the IRS, George S. Boutwell, said black people should have South Carolina and Florida as their own states. Who gonna give up reparations? See, y'all don't even know what angle to come at this thing. Y'all don't. I'm gonna promise you this. This channel is going to outline the absolute correct approach for Black America. And that's a heavy statement to say when only 6 motherfuckers is on here watching you, nigga. And let's have some real conversation. It's only 6 motherfuckers in the building. And you telling me that this is a message that can streamline Black America, and I stand on that absolutely. Hell to the yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a whole lot of stuff we can rule out. I think we can rule out a whole lot of stuff. Red, black, and green ain't gonna do it. Ain't never did it. Islam ain't do it. Mm-mm. 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 See, we're gonna have to stop pump faking around here and acting like we ain't citizens. That's what we're gonna have to stop doing. Now, are you a disgruntled citizen? You got a right to be disgruntled. A solution-oriented citizen. Should we be citizens? You don't feel like we are citizens? I don't go that far with that. Not at all. Okay? Not at all. Mr. Boutwell, my trigger in this particular thing, in this topic, Mr. Boutwell said we should have South Carolina and Georgia. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, South Carolina and Georgia, or South Carolina and Florida, one of the two. And so this is going to be amazing. This is going to be amazing. All right. So I know how the IRS starts. The IRS is now giving you benefits. The IRS, according to Tom Railwright, majority of its code, because it's a code, right? IRS code. Majority of its code is to show you how to be a boss. God damn. Somebody dropped the motherfucking clue bombs for the IRS. Tom Railwright said this in his book, and this is Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the number one selling financial book, which ain't really financial, it's more of a mindset book of all time. His accountant in the book, Tax-Free Wealth, said, and I got the pages. I'm a paraphrase on the actual length of the book, but he said if the book was 900 pages, 700 of the code is telling you how the government incentivizes you. So, hey, we got an interest in oil as a government. Duh, you think we don't? Natural gas, technology. So you put your money as an individual having a business. If you put your money in this sector, well, we incentivize that because it draws so much money and makes us a government player. When America falls, is because there's no patriotism of entrepreneurialism. I don't think people get that. I don't think people get that. Black people don't get that shit. Black people is among they. They don't want you to win. They ain't gonna put nothing like that over here on this side of town. They so loyal to the Democrats that has that talk of they. And that's the they really talking about and don't know. That's just crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. So anyway, the code is there. It incentivizes us. What else we got, man? Man, the First Step Act, man. Come on, man. Man, y'all act like y'all ain't see Kodak Black. Y'all ain't see Kodak. Y'all ain't see Trump pardon Kodak Black. Y'all ain't see Trump make a phone call, make a G call. Got Rihanna boo thing. My little homie ASAP got it. And Trump like, hey, get home ASAP, nigga. What? Y'all ain't see Trump make the. Y'all ain't see Trump post pardon. Who was that? Maybe I think Jack Johnson, the black old boxing champ. Homeboy deceased. And Trump came back and cleared his name. What they call that? Posthumously. The dude is deceased. But what happened? He got charged in the time where white girls couldn't be in the car with black dudes and shit. And he the boxer and he rumbling motherfuckers down south and them white girls. Right? The Amber Roses, the Kim Kardashians and them. Boy, you see we smashing them. Huh? They the Iggies. They were over here rolling with us to keep it jiggy. Right? So that was a no-no. And Trump come back after that man and been dead all this time and said, no, that's free. Man, y'all better stop playing. It's called spiritual politics, because these motherfuckers will sentence you to 2 lives. What the fuck you mean 2 lives, nigga? You mean to tell me there's another life after this? Sentence you to 2 life sentences. What? Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me time the fuck out. Have we ever thought about that? Wait a minute. What if I come back and I happen to do something again to match the previous incarnation sentence? Because you said 2 lives. I didn't say that. You said 2 lives. So now I got to think if I'm going to come back again. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, man. Anyway. First Step Act, nonviolent offenders. Shout out to my dope boys. Yo, nonviolent offenders in the feds, y'all coming home early. Trump did that. Didn't Trump do something for Meek and Meek didn't go to the White House? Yeah. I don't think ASAP Rocky congratulated Trump or thanked Trump. The only nigga that did that was Kodak. Kodak got that nigga tatted like, nah, nigga. I fuck with Kodak. What? Because that's how I feel. Abe Lincoln, Grant, and William Sherman tatted right here. Union soldier to the death of me all day. Like if you was a slave, what side you on, nigga? That's the real question in the world of hip hop, nigga. Because everybody got something to say about black issues. I got a question. Can we agree that slavery was the worst thing that ever happened on this landmass, especially between black people and white people in the United States government? I think we're gonna say yes. Cool. If that's the worst thing that ever happened. Now, my question is, with inside of that worst thing that ever happened during the Civil War, what side would you have been on? I dropped the mic. I dropped the mic. I dropped the mic. I drops the mic because I know good and well ain't nan hip hop nigga gonna tell me he was joining the Confederates. I don't believe that. I don't believe Charleston White, man. Take that Confederate shit off, man, because I can't believe, and I know Pappy and them fought for the motherfucking slave master. But at the end of the day, we all agree, and I think this is a great Southern nigga consensus when I say this. I'll say it again. I think this is a great nigga Southern consensus when I say this. Nigga, if you was a slave and you saw the Union Army coming through and telling you to get in formation, and then was coming through with black dudes, former slaves who ran up north and came back in Union blues with a goddamn musket looking for the white boy to shoot his ass. If your ass gonna join the Confederates, you the biggest motherfucking sucker there ever was. And see, that's the kind of Negro that's scary. That's the real Chicken George. Because them the type of niggas that was them Oyo type niggas. That was the motherfucking what's the woman queen shit? The homie type niggas. Me and you say this all the time. That enslave their own niggas. But if you listen to the culture, this is for the homies. Wait a minute. Yo, chill, bro. That's the homie. The homie tribe. And now we say that amongst each other as a term of endearment. That's the homie. We don't say the homie, the homie. Which is very interesting. Y'all better get up on Tom and Soul immediately. Black, what is it? Black rednecks and white liberals. Because the way we even talk in our slang actually comes from the white Southerners who ancestry actually comes from what they known as, what's that? The right there between Ireland and Ireland and Scotland, right there, which is more of what's called the northwest corner of England. So that little zone right there, they said that was a nomad's lane right there. No order, no law, barbarians. And that's where the Southern white boy come from. And he got a certain dialect. Real talk. Swear to God. Document. I read this shit and I said, oh my God. Whoa. Wait a minute. Get up on that. All right. So anyway. Trump actually is said to have done something with the HBCUs. That something is they took that control some aspect the government had it. I'm paraphrasing here, but the White House gained control of that and start funding HCBU, historically black college universities, right? And so this is very important, man, because the historically black colleges come from the Morrill Act. And the first Morrill Act was passed in the Lincoln administration. White boys down south started being funny, and we had to get more specific and create a second Morrill Act that basically dedicated state lands will become federal lands inside of states could now be open to the institutions of higher educations for black universities. So this is where your Lincoln University is going to come from, your Howard University, your Florida A&M and not, your black colleges and whatnot. So this literally spearheads and gets started in the Lincoln administration. But again, we had to be more specific later and clarify it. And then black people start getting their own colleges. So Trump is said to have increased the funding for those. So I seen him pardon people, whether dead or alive. You know what I'm saying? And more than one, more than one, right? More than one. They be saying the spirit be moving and shit. So more than one. Seriously, you know what I'm saying? Shit. The mayor of Detroit, Kwame Kilpatrick, right? Come on, man. Y'all better put some motherfucking respect on Trump's name, because now listen, just dealing with the culture, period. How many people did Obama let out? I can't really remember. I don't think maybe I was as politically conscious, so I don't remember. Who Clinton let out? You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing's ringing the bell, And so are we so blinded by our emotions? Man, the man come get you out of motherfucking jail, nigga. I don't give a fuck. If he your sworn motherfucking enemy. To put that up and make that happen, that mean, boy, he wants you what so bad that he just wants you out on the playing field. What happened to the type of battles where the kings meet, they make an agreement and nod their head and go back and let's go, we about to go do battle? Huh? Kings meet with kings, man. You playing this racist card in the sense where I really think it's fear, you know what I'm saying? Where we can't even acknowledge a thank you. I can't even step to you as a man because you racist. Well, be a goddamn man and step to him. But I tell you who do, Kanye. Let me get some water, man. Kanye. Yeezy. The Gemini. Oh, he crazy. Yeah, okay. I ain't saying he ain't. But that specific band of intelligence that the gods and the cosmos has sent you on Kanye, let me tell you something. An anomaly. We already know it. We already see it. We just don't know what it's going to be. But those of us who can see already know what it's going to be. Niggas better get their minds right. Quickly. See, I'm going to write that down too. Because I got a pet peeve and I got a bone to pick. And I believe a lot of us do. One thing I admire about the black culture, there's a lot of aggression in it. But what we have to realize is we're not given a disclaimer that this is therapy. And that's where we're going wrong. One of the ways, we're going wrong, right? But on the vision board, you can't say you believe in vision boards, man, and wholeheartedly believe that, but don't project the image of a desired reality out into the world. That either means a few things, you know what I'm saying? You don't think your thoughts are strong enough to do that. For whatever reason, you see it and you believe it, but you're not doing it. or you never thought about it. Because if the science of the vision board simply works because it's somewhere that you can consciously and subconsciously see it, and is reaffirming this future desired state that you want, but it's there because by some way of happenstance and should be work and intention, your future state becomes reality. It comes off the board and it comes into reality. It becomes real. Beautiful. But the vision board itself is nothing more than the ideas personified or objectified and put out into the world for you to look at. So it originally sits right here, though. But I'm going to go ahead and create it out of here, image it up, boom, so I can become a mirror of it. Cool. Amazing. Right? Amazing. But the point is, if the vision board is becoming real, then what I'm thinking about is becoming real. And if we're thinking about the fall of America, then goddamn it, it's going to become real. Now, if that's your thing, no problem. My question is, let's talk resources now. Because last I checked, Hurricane Katrina came and motherfuckers weren't ready for that. Last I checked, there's a water crisis in Flint, Michigan. Who, by the way, a woman rolled up on me yesterday. Got a place to rent. Been working for yada yada long. Me and my son, 10 years old. We from Flint. I had to get up out of there. And my baby's one of those babies whose brain was, a little messed up from it. Yeah. Last I checked, we ain't had a solution to Flint. We was talking about talking about the government again. Salute to the ones that did get cases of water up there. Right? But as a whole, Black America didn't step in and say we got the solution to that already. All y'all, all the landlords, we got you here. We waiting for FEMA, waiting for the government to come to the aid. There's nothing wrong with the government coming to aid. It's our immobility and not doing it that I'm talking about here, right? So anyway, I digress, man. All right. And so we gotta get our mind right. Seriously, what we thinking about? What we thinking about? Because what we thinking about is being created. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if we're ready for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh shit, the United States dollar is done. This is like a peso now, nigga. The value, nigga, everything look like Baltimore and Detroit and North Philly. North Philly. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That's not cool, y'all. I'm telling you now, it's not cool. All of it look like that. All of it look like that. You rather the fall of America or complete chaos, utter chaos, man. Again, I'll say it, Hurricane Katrina. Utter chaos. Man, it's called Corona when niggas retarded asses took all the toilet paper. Right? Grabbing toilet paper. Right? Like, come on, man. What are you talking about? Like, you don't know you're ready for that. So what you supposed to do in the meantime? Just pray. The food run out again from simple coronavirus, right? Like, what we supposed to do at that particular point? Why would you even want to fall? And then most importantly, then that makes me challenge your God. Like, yo, hold on. Can't we just call on the man upstairs and say, hey, this is what we need? What's up? God, hey, homie, time out. You see this? No. Can you? Let's go. What's up with that? What I call that? Oh, I know where it is. 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 I know what it is. That's the subconscious atheism. Yeah. Quran is clear on certain things, right? One of them is they say that they believe, but they really don't believe, but they know not. Whoa, it always baffled me. There's a people that say that they believe, but they really don't believe, but they don't even know that they don't believe because they think they believe. That's crazy to me. I was like, oh, that's a different state of mind that we in now. As we say, these books, Bible, Quran, these are psychology books. We don't care about the history. We don't care about Flavius Josephus and all them. We don't care about that. We want to talk about what is the meaning and what is the function. How do you do it? I'll tell you something about the slaves when it came to that Bible. And it worked for their freedom. Two things they did. They called the Ohio River, River Jordan, because they saw themselves personified as the Israelites who were going to make it to God. So that became the Ohio River, because once you cross the Ohio, what? You free. Ain't no slaves allowed here. Of course, did the boys from out down south and those ideologies get in early government and be like, hey, we're going to institute black codes here? Absolutely. But was this land designed for that? Man, this is the heart chakra of the USA, man. It's the only state that really even looked like a heart. Hence, the slogan used to be the heart of it all. The original. I'm going to show you some presidential shit. You wait till I get good and comfortable on this channel. I'm going to show you the shit that's loaded in our favor. Like literally loaded in our favor. Purposely created. Ain't no slaves allowed in this new territory. When we get it. We ain't got it and then we're going to talk about it. I'm telling you, when we get it, ain't going to be no slaves there. That's how the conversation was. 1787 Northwest Land Ordinance. Read it for yourself. Ain't no slaves allowed in this new territory, nigga. Y'all can suck my. Ain't no slaves allowed in this new territory, nigga. When I see the dirty South and all that, nanny boo boo for real. What you talking about? Ain't no slaves allowed here, bro. So the mindset is different. Understand what I'm saying? Totally different. But it goes to a point. It goes to the point. And I'll say this in closing, and we can bust it up. From the numbers, it looked like Trump was good for Black America. And let's not act like everybody didn't champion Mike Tyson was with him. Everybody wanted bucks like Trump. He was at the Trump Tower with your girl. Come on, man. Don't act like he wasn't a symbol of success. And we're not going to say the man is perfect because no man is. But I'm going to be honest about it. I always said this, and I mean this shit. Listen to me closely. The most powerful position in the United States government, in those three branches, in my opinion, is not the president of the United States. He's number one as the executive. That's what he is. He's the CEO of the United States of America. But the CEO got boards that'll fire you. And then the board consists of, shit. It's members, which is Congress. So no. Well, you out of here. Nope. Bye, Steve Jobs. We don't care that it's your company and you started it. You set it up this way. We don't like what you're doing. We disagree. Sorry, you're out. And we kicked Steve Jobs out of his own damn company. Yeah, because he didn't own majority of it, right? That's why people strive for 51% ownership. So now when we do this 49, I don't care how you vote, you'll never have a majority. Okay? Now, so where was I at, y'all? Where was I at, man? And so I totally forgot where I'm at. I know it's Northwest Ordinance, but I came back to Trump. But anyway. That's what happened when the gummies kick in live. You start losing, like, hold on, what? Hold on, man. Hold on. But I don't mind freestyling with y'all, man. You know what I mean? Seriously, this channel is going to be a freestyle conversation where people come on, spit their piece. But most importantly, we can start to archive the future and whatnot. The Ohio River. Well, the Ohio River is a it's just that the slaves used that as River Jordan, and then that was the cutoff line. So you cross the Ohio River, I'm telling you, you free. That was a fact. You know what I'm saying? Oh, but speaking on that though, Harriet Tubman, the slave said, "Hey, you know what? Harriet Tubman is Moses." So that's the two times that they actually used the Bible, and there's another time that I'm a hold, but yeah, they used the Ohio River as River Jordan, and then they called Harriet Tubman Moses, the person to lead them out the out that wilderness, out that slavery, and into the promised land. Now, what if the Bible? Now, this is the question you better ask yourself. That's what I got. Another one. God damn, 400 years of curse. People be talking about 400 years of slave, right? It's 400 years of curse. And the reason why I say that is because honestly, we were not enslaved from 18. We wasn't enslaved for 400 years. If you look at quick history says, hey, listen, man, 1619, this whole thing starts. That's why on Netflix you got something called the 1619 Project, right? You can argue and say, hey, we were here before that as slaves. Okay, cool. The oldest city I've seen in America is like late 1500s. I want to say 1587, but late 1500s. What's that? St. Augustine, Florida. Okay. So, but that's not 400 years of slave. Like I think we can agree that 1865 is the cutoff point of domestic slavery. Now, there's some, I got an email now, brother, saying we wasn't really slaves and whatnot. They're slaves on the census. So, and for this conversation, I don't care if it really wasn't. Black people are under the impression that it was, and we need to deal with that psychosis because that's what's holding us back. Okay, so I want to deal with that, and I think we could. It's easier to tell the story of the truth dealing with that matter versus them having to figure out that somehow we really wasn't slaves, and there's this big mass propaganda that came along and had us thinking that we were slaves and whatnot. I'm gonna tell the story from, hey, there's some white boys in the graveyard that's dead. Hey, wait, hold on. People have traced their ancestry back to slavery. My grandmother used to pick cotton in the Tennessee fields. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, 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 nah. It was there. So um, anyway, anyway. You have some interesting. I lost my thought again, but you have some interesting stuff, some parallels that come from that Bible. And there it is. If the Bible and the vision board is really real, like, what if people reading the Bible and these people being held in bondage for 400 years? These people being held in bondage for 400 years. These people been held in bondage for 400 years. These people held in bondage for 400 years. The Israelites are slaves of the Egyptians. 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 Like, this is going on every Sunday somewhere amongst millions of people reading that certain aspect of scripture. So let's go back then, and when it was like, what if the people reading that is now visualizing something, and now the descendants of Egyptians are slaves to what we could say, well, if you want to say that white people are more of the Israelite looking, if I know we can say that not the original, whatever, it's still there's this thing called race, and this thing that took place history, slavery, that's directly linked through it appears to be children of Egyptians. You see what I'm saying? So what if the earlier civilizations reading this, believing in this, picturizing this thing, these ideas become a manifestation in the future called our reality? You see what I'm saying? Exactly. So observation collapses the wave, which is known as wave function collapse in quantum physics, right? Or also known as the observer effect. So that becomes dangerous. But again, 1865, like we're not a slave. And do the math. 1865 minus 1611, we saying 254 years. But yet black people always somewhere talking about 400 years of slave, 400 years of 400 years. My people been 400 years. We always say that. And we're misquoting, but but we're really quoting an aspect of the Bible and not our physical history on the soil of the United States of America. We're running that parallel with a biblical saying. So from if it's 1811 is the starting point, then what's 1811 plus 400 years, right? I'm sorry, 1611 plus 400 years, right? So what is that? 2011, you free. Okay. And it makes sense why now people keep talking about we 400 years of slave, like because we just really, I guess, got our freedom in 2011. Maybe could it be we've been walking around with an enslaved doctrine of some sort? We talk about the miseducation of the Negro, but there is a gross miseducation of our beliefs. Like 400 years, like that's not true. It's like 254 years. You're like imposing a lot of years onto this thing. Like, right? Up slow. What's 400 minus 254? 146. You're imposing 146 years of slavery on the actual timeline by misquoting that shit. I think God damn it. Boy, shit. Man, do y'all get what I'm saying? I know I can be all over the place, but y'all just gonna have to keep up, man. Shit. Let's tie it together. Observation creates reality because what you think, you become. If I say I'm going to work out, next thing you know, I'm working out. So thoughts become reality. You like vision boards to kind of prove that to yourself. Cool. Thoughts become reality. All right. Here's an emotional situation called slavery that the most common record says it starts in 1611. Let's just agree for the sake of agreeing. 1611. Okay. Okay. Well, slavery ended in 1865. 246 years later. That's a fact. Like it ended, like it ended there, right? And so, like literally, there's no debate. General Lee surrenders on April the 9th, 1865. I don't want to fight for this no more. Right? Then Lincoln was assassinated shortly thereafter, which is around now, tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. But 13th Amendment is passed. Like literally, there's no more slavery in the United States of America in 1865. You know that. 5 years later, you start having black senators. So we know slavery is over. So let's not act like that. Okay. So slavery is over in 1865. But you're saying we're 400 years a slave. That's dangerous. Like you're putting an extra 100+ years on top of the physical history / reality by saying that. I think I'm just gonna end my sermon right there today. Thank you, Sharita. I feel I've done my job. I've been allowed to be a vessel. Because that's it. It's something that's coming through, and it comes through all of us, and the truth is different through our artistic expressions. I believe everyone is an artist in their own right. You can be a forklift driver. That's art in itself. It has to get done. Somebody thought about it to make it. Like it's actually ingenious. You need it and whatnot. But this is just some stuff to think about, y'all. It's just some stuff to think about. All right. Some stuff to really think about, put some facts in order, and that's what we aim to do. That's what we aim to do. Monica, what's going on? What's happening? What's happening? So tomorrow, no gummies allowed. It's gonna be late anyway. 8:30, man. Yeah, who got smoked with Lincoln? Like I want to know. I want to know who won't smoke with Abe Lincoln tomorrow, right here, 8:30 Eastern. Because I gotta set the record straight, man. I got to. Like God put that on me. Like when somebody tell you that, man, I think we should at least try to really hear that, you know? It just may be serious about that right there. But God put that on my heart, man. Seriously, man. I like if you haven't like listen, call it what you want to call it. Let me clear my throat on this because this is important. If you haven't reached a point of internal introspection of thoughts, how you feel, how you express love, caring, humanity, that being expanded now from within, haven't necessarily felt the sympathy, the 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 ability to be able to logically look at facts, admit those facts, accept those facts, and then to be able to, in this particular case, be able to have some form of empathy. There are over 110,000 Union soldiers who died on the battlefield over slavery. They're dead. 100,000 of them. I don't think we understand. I always say it. If you look at Vicksburg, Mississippi, and saw where William T. Sherman and Grant was fighting that battle, and then where Sherman specifically, they together will leave Mississippi and then go to Tennessee to fight the Tennessee campaigns. And then from there, Sherman goes south into Georgia, Atlanta, then Savannah, while Grant goes over into Virginia from Tennessee. So they split ways. They're doing this shit on foot. Feet. Man, I worked just like 5 of my properties yesterday and my feet hurt. Just 5 of my properties yesterday and my feet hurt. Back was hurting. I was supposed to be in the gym today. Back hurt. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. Let alone walk thousands of miles through wilderness. Oh, there's a battle called the Battle of the Wilderness where they was in the woods in Virginia shooting in the woods, killing each other. So if you can't admit that fact and then have empathy towards that, I don't know if you've really come to the full acceptance of what the God you say you believe in is when it comes to your heart and your feeling and your ability to be able to express a form of compassion. To me, I think it represents a level of maturity. To me, it's just my opinion, right? But you got some folks that's dead, man. And they idea won out. What gets me with this is like the history doesn't show that the Union Army, United States government lost the Civil War and it was slaves forever. And then the slaves did a rebellion and got free. And then another legislation passed and the slaves were finally set free in 1965 when Abraham Lincoln lost the Civil War and they stayed slaves. Y'all don't know in 1876, the election of Rutherford B. Hayes and Samuel Tilden. Man, listen, a Democrat would have got in presidency at that time with the Congress, because now the southern states are now just back into the Union and starting to vote again and participate. Man, they could have wrote laws to put your black ass back into slavery. The history don't show that, homie. History don't show that. They was about that. Like, listen, it wasn't nothing sophisticated about that level, boy. The white Southern boy, he ain't mind psych. He ain't the psych ops motherfucker. We told you, he come from the Ireland, Scotland fringes, Northwest England. They was barbarian. They just beat your ass. He just beat your ass. There wasn't no mind game Jedi tricks. Okay, it was shut up, nigger, and it was yes, master. I can't stand the American slave. That piece of DNA needs to forever be burnt out the ethers of space. I can't stand that part of the black man's fucking, and especially the black man. Black women, I think y'all get a pass, man. Almost. Y'all get a pass on the civil shit when it comes to the discord or what laws should be, in my book, right? But I think the responsibility of the slave shit, man, it like nigga, men, y'all can't tell me y'all don't feel some type of way that Harriet Tubman did that shit. A woman did that. Y'all don't feel no type of way. You never thought about that shit. Like, goddamn, Harriet Tubman. Like, I feel some type of way about that shit. Like, that baffles me, man. That hurts my feelings. Because now, if that kind of lack of manhood was there, that's supposed to have been serving as protection, and that put her in that predicament to do that. If that has anything to do with the dysfunction that we see today in heterosexual relationships, that's some shit, man. See, that's for me, and I don't think that's far thinking, but that's how far I think in that sense, right? Like, well, goddamn, because remember, thoughts become things and shit. So I'm looking at a previous generation of shit that damn sure I think for sure has been passed down into the DNA structure. All that fear, all that shit we done been through, that shit is coding. DNA is light, homie. DNA ain't no motherfucking, it ain't no, you know what I mean? It ain't just a ball. This shit is light. It's information. So now that information from the past is here. That's why we only accessing the small part. It's a known fact we only accessing a very small portion of our DNA, right? Even brain capacity, right? All right. So now that information encoded is inside of us. We got all control. Delete that shit, man. Delete that fucking program. That's a program. It was the worst program ever. It was so bad. Here we are. What? Here we are a couple hundred years removed from slavery, and we acting like we really owed something and we wasn't even there. I had this conversation with myself today. Yeah, with myself. I had this conversation with myself today. I said, well, wait a minute, hold on. A nigga can owe your people some money, your mama some money, some family members some money. You don't take special interest in that and be like, yo, you owe me some money. Even if that person, your mama, whoever it is, like they no longer here, you don't feel like you're entitled to that money like they owe you, and why you can't do things in your life because you're dependent upon that money from that time that you owe my people. Like we don't do that. Like we wasn't even there to be slaves. But yet we feel like we are entitled to the damages from that time. Think about that. Say we are, because I believe we are, and I know exactly where. I know exactly where. That's the beauty about this channel. Because you will see that it's, oh, this shit is pro USA. Yeah, but no, you got to know where it's at, though. United States of America dropped the ball like a motherfucker. And you can't refute it either, because it's just historical fact. It can't be refuted. But what we gonna do is, we got a lot of credit to give, though. We got a whole lot of credit to give, and that's where I was at with this. Like, man, you ain't got to that point where you can't feel no empathy. Harriet Tubman, like, it wasn't no Harry. The nigga Harry was, what the hell was Harry? They didn't say Harry died in action. They didn't say Harry was there and he killed a few of them, and then they caught him. They don't say nothing about him. She ain't had that nigga not on the journey, and that shit hurts my feelings, man. As a man, that make me feel like we didn't fail the whole goddamn black humanity. The black female humanity, I'm sorry, I feel that way. And I ain't trying to big y'all up, women, and say y'all the goddesses, and I don't go as far as y'all the god of the world shit. I understand yin and yang very well. I'm a cosmic nigga. Like, I understand the forces of nature. It's always going to depend on these two things that appear to be opposite. Always. Always. You can't even when you understand electricity and what they call positive and negative, and male and female prongs and plugs and everything. It's always going to be two forces in nature. Always. It ain't no such thing as superiority. It's a beautiful balance. That's why I tell you the Chinese with the yin yang symbol, that shit's ingenious. Because at the tail of your symbol, at the tail, like a sperm egg, at the very tail, could be the last little bit of information that's there. Because the beginning of the opposite end is faces right there. It's like a 69 position. The cycle starts all over again. And we're interconnected, nigga. What are you talking about? It's a dance. We can quantify as superior and inferiority, but you're going to be able to quantify it in different factions where she's going to be superior, you're going to be inferior. Easy, right? So I'll never get caught up into that. But anyway, man, and this is my public apology, ladies. I apologize on behalf of the goddamn slave Negro that's inside of our DNA. But I would like to say that we are not that, and we don't have to worry about that aspect. There's other things that deserve our motherfucking attention. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers around here creating Harriet Tubmans and shit, and you wonder why it's motherfucking gay women. God damn it. Now I got a theory. You want to talk about a theory? I got plenty of those. Here's the question. Could dysfunctional heterosexual relationships also be a contributing factor to homosexual relationships? That's a whole nother subject. Just talking about the dysfunction, because this is what I mean. To me, it looked like the human being has what I call a biological imperative. The biological imperative is an invisible intelligence that exists inside of the human being. The human being at the core is light. That's the most I think we can quantify it as an energy. Where again, I always say, hey man, you pass out, they're gonna come with the shock paddles and hit you with electricity to make sure that heart start generating that light force that's in you. So at the core, on the energetic spectrum, the best we can do is quantify our existence as light. Okay, well, light has information in it because light is a wave and wave is nothing more but data. Okay, like sound waves have words, right? So waves have information in them. Wi-Fi is connected to the waves. Waves is information, thought forms. Okay, all right, cool. So if we had these thoughts, and just hurry up and get to the whole solution to this thing. If we have these thoughts and we're in charge of these thoughts, and thoughts create reality, then that simply means all we have to do is come together with a collective thought, and that is going to become reality. I can't make it no simpler than that. I was going to tell a story, but I know I'm just going to get straight to it. You cannot say we believe and not exercise a period where we say we believe. Now, could those who believe in God, could we be going through this because we have yet to fail as a so-called God nation, God global citizens? Like very few nations, what nations are on the record as a nation state and they don't believe in God? They don't believe in anything. It's an atheist nation state. I don't think there are any atheist nation states. So all nations say they believe in their form of God. Oh, this is interesting. This is very interesting, Earthlings. Very interesting. Because now the God command is saying, this is what God is saying. God is saying, well, if y'all all believe in me, create one day where you all pray to me and say, thank you, God, for life. If you all believe in me, then create one day where you all say, thank you, God, for life. What kind of call would that take? What must happen? Because you won't consciously do it. No, consciously you ain't got there. You ain't did that. So what's gonna have to happen? Oh, okay. You want the ugly stuff. Give it to me. That's what you want. You want the okay. You want the ugly stuff. Okay. Well, here it come. Here it come. All right. So I'm gonna sign off, man. I'm gonna sign off unless y'all got something to say. You know what I mean? So, I'll be tripping sometime, man. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's just me. You know what I'm saying? But I think I'm on to something here. All right. I think I'm on to something here. So Aaron says, I believe it does have a lot so with black female male relationships, you know. Yeah, man. The biological imperative is studying information. Okay. So it's studying us. I always say, what's the wisdom in wisdom teeth? That's not the correct word to say. I'm stop saying that word. It's crazy, right? So the wisdom teeth, like mine's grew impacted, which was sideways, right? And so let me put this charger in. It grew in sideways. So with wisdom teeth, you gotta get them sawed out, man. You gotta get them things sawed out. The teeth are connected to cranial nerves in the brain. That's very interesting because now the biological imperative, what I mean by this information, think about this, man. Did you create liver? Did you create spleen? Did you create red blood cell? Did you create XY chromosome? Did you create cell, atom, electron, photon? Did you create bio? Did you create all the stuff that's in the body, man? Did you create it with function? Give it this job to do. Hey, this is what you do. You're going to do this. You only need one, but with these things, you take in air. It'll be two of you. Like, did you create that design? You didn't create the physical, and you didn't create the intelligence to make it function. So there's something that's very aware that we are not aware that we created if we created it. Maybe we didn't create it, right? So now, whatever it is, we're not aware of it, right? I think we can agree to that. Go to sleep and tell me what you're gonna dream about. Nigga, you don't know what you're gonna dream about. You don't know where you're gonna be at. So it's something that's inside of us that's having an experience. That which we can call spirit, I'm cool with that, is studying. It's spying. Taking data, and that's called death. Back out. That's all it is. You ain't nothing but a projected thought form. That's all we are. Projected thought forms. Boom. On every level. Okay? Now, since it's studying us and these teeth can't come on, it almost mean this whole function right here incomplete. It's trying to figure it out. That's the wisdom and wisdom teeth. More nerves connected to the teeth, more nerves in the brain is trying to come online. So thus you become enlightened, the halo around you. So we're in the process of evolution. We're evolving to what? Who knows? Or, to be determined in a sense. So now the biological imperative is studying, oh, okay, no more than how the functions in your brain, like the hippocampus, is storing memory. But all memory is an experience. The experience is what you perceived it to be. And then this gland in your brain called the amygdala said, oh, spider bad, because she screamed, bam, stamps the imprint memory over here. Hippocampus stored, negative memory. Here go the amygdala watching you. What's about to be the incoming data? Spider, bad, bam, boom, stored. That's how it's working. That's it, right? There's a lot of things there, really, too. The main thing is the thing that's coming in is not good or bad until you tell it what it is. Your brain has to store information based off what you told it was. And what you told it was is how you react to it. But you're not aware that you can tell it what it is. And you can go back and re-augment it and tell it what it is. So the brain don't know the difference between what's right and wrong. Wet dream, okay? Now, it's very interesting, though. It's very interesting. Again, the biological imperative is studying us. So if we have dysfunction in relationships, then what? Then it will say, oh, this is not working. Oh, this is not working. This is not working. This is not working. And here's the kicker. And I'm just going to say it. Boy, I definitely got to get an editor because I didn't drop some shit in this conversation. You can be born gay. I can tell you biologically how. The woman every human being has two genes or glands. These glands were known as the Skene's gland. Inside of a woman, it's called the Skene's gland. In men, it's called the prosthetic utricle. In earlier embryology, in the embryo, in the development of the embryo, these are something called the Wolffian duct, and the other one's called the Mullerian duct. Okay. Now, the Wolffian duct is said to develop around week 4, and the Mullerian duct will develop a week later, week 5. And then when you go about 5 more weeks to week 10, now look at this beautiful symmetry. Look, I swear to God, what I'm saying for what I saw from, again, I was held back in 2nd grade, so go look into what I'm about to tell you. When you go look into these ducts, the Wolffian duct, Wolffian duct develops in the embryo about the 4th to the 5th week. The next week, the 5th to the 6th week, the Mullerian duct develops. They journey together about week 10. At week 10, this is when the determination of the sexes or gender appears. If the Wolffian duct that developed, they say developed first in the timeline, the Wolffian duct develops, then the Mullerian duct atrophies and says, I'll go into, what's that word? Remission. I'll go into remission. I'll shrink and go dormant. Not disappear and cut off and fall out and pissed out. Goes dormant. Okay? It's there. It's dormant. The Wolffian duct becomes the testicles and things that we say is the male gender. Okay? Now, vice versa, we together at week 10, and the Mullerian duct starts to develop, and the Wolffian duct that was we saw later becomes testicle and penis now starts to atrophy and goes dormant, known as the prosthetic utricle. In the old literature, it was called vagina masculina. Okay. Now the Mullerian duct develops into fallopian tubes in the female reproductive tract. So you journey together for 5 weeks, and that to me is so beautiful. And it's not about the Wolffian, the male duct, coming first, because that argument is so stupid to me. If man came before a woman, that means there's a secret woman inside of man. And I don't know if that's kind of cool, but it is to a degree, but it's kind of weird. And if a woman came first, that means there's a secret man inside of you. I don't care. Like that, at the end of the day, that's what it means. But if the secret man is inside of you, but the man came from, like, it's gonna go both ways, and you're not finding God that way. I just got to keep it real with you, because you don't understand the 2 is 1, and that's why 2 is the only motherfucking even prime number in existence. When I learned that shit and was looking at this shit, I said, God damn. The only even prime number in existence out of all the numbers in the world, 2 is the only even prime number in existence. God damn. See, that math talk starts to get you to another gear of reality. You understand? And so, anyway, biological imperative is studying us, and we together. We together in this. You know what I'm saying? Like, really think about that. I love you. But we don't, as individuals, we don't really love. We don't love. Hell no. We way off. We way off. Oh, especially the black person, like the black couple. Like, man, your timeline is a very short timeline over here. You know what I'm saying? Like, that timeline is short. 1865, 1968, Martin Luther King is dead. That's 100 years. So we're in 1968. Civil rights era is over. The 68 election is a very telling election. That bitch ass George Wallace, the governor for Alabama, who was standing in the door, didn't want James Hood and Vivian Malone to come in, and he was the last school to desegregate. He ran for president in 68 and shit, and Nixon won that election. And so that was the last that we saw, like a KKK advocate type of what was known as a Dixiecrat, even though he didn't register as a Dixiecrat. But that Confederate ideology basically running the election. in 68. So 68, we in King. Now we about to go in the 70s. 70s, we know is the coolest era ever. That's the Afro era. So now it's party, feel good. Goddamn, we didn't have slavery, we didn't have civil rights. Fuck all that shit. We partying disco, right? So it's disco in the 70s. Then the 80s become the world went crazy, become the dope gang, here come the rap gang. You know what I'm saying? So the 80s become that. Then you see where we at in the timeline. The 90s, crazy. 2000s, here we is. You know what I'm saying? So like, where did you have time to love? I lost. Did I miss that decade? Did I miss that century? Like, where was love the theme at? But that's just not what Black America. That's what the global citizen. Again, the global citizen all say they believe in a God, but have yet to create a collective coherence to demonstrate and just express gratitude. I know that sounds crazy. But it can't sound crazy because the call of prayer is going off 5 times a day. People got times to pray, and if you're not Muslim, it's all good. You just had Easter. What you talking about? You put on your Easter best to participate in some things. All cosmic, by the way, but nevertheless, you participated. So we all got accustomed, but the global citizen has yet to come together to give gratitude and thanks. In remedy, say remedy this. Big fella, fix it, big fella. I know you're there. Fix it. Big fella. Big fella. That's what my daughter called me. Big fella. Big fella. I don't really like call me damn big fella. But yeah, big fella, you there? Hey, big fella, we need some help. We need some help. That's what we need to do. First, want to acknowledge you. Give a shout out. And they always do it at the awards. Oh, I want to thank God. Yeah, okay. Okay. You want to thank God for the good, but you gonna thank God for the bad, or you gonna ask for an emergency cry, emergency help? You know what I'm saying? Better stop playing with this thing. I better stop playing. Listen, one thing I feel good about as a motherfucking man, I'm gonna tell you, is having properties that's free and fucking clear, where you ain't never gotta worry about paying rent or motherfucking mortgage. And the only thing you gotta worry about is some punk ass property taxes, and you good. I mean, nothing like that feeling in the world right there. Now it's time to scale it, of course. But when you got that aspect, like, that's done for life, done. Acquire shit like Monopoly, nigga, on the block. Give me that one. That one across the street. Give me that one. You want that one? You got that one. Let's go. Yeah, that's the game I like to play right there. That to me, that's man shit right there. And don't worry, because privately tonight, we having our money call. I'm having my people come on. And my people gonna tell you, pull up my folder. My people gonna tell you, for years, they've been getting paid every single month. Did we have any hiccups? Oh, of course. I had a hiccup right now. The damn windstorm came through. Roof was old. I had to put a new roof on it. No problem. $2,500 off the deductible. Got my Mexican guy. Go ahead, hook that up for me. Fix it. Do a great job. Got to pay that. Point is, that could be a timeout. Oh, rent that come out the, you know what I mean? It come out the cash flow. If reserves ain't there, or if credit ain't there, right? But real spill, as a man, I'm telling you, I ain't lying to you. You got to be able to secure that. You know? Now it's about sustaining it. You got it. Remember, it's 3 phases to wealth: create it, preserve it, transfer it. Just like those 3 cardinal signs of that zodiac. But that's another conversation, right? Create it, preserve it, transfer it. Majority of your millionaires, like 80%, are creators, first generation, man. You got to be in creative mode. You can see it plays out, and like you can see it in society. We just make things so freaking difficult, and it ain't got to be difficult. This is not difficult to understand. It really ain't. It's not difficult to apply. If you see it, you see it. You know what I mean? You can see so much success. You can see visions become reality, you know. But the again, the problem could be, and it could be, is how do you do that when you think there's somebody against you at all and always been against you? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, always been against you? Nah, man. Ladies, I'm gonna give y'all a game. Like, I would honestly tell my daughter, and I ain't saying like, I would never be wrong, right? Never have it even change of, a change of heart, change of mind. I think that's natural. You're supposed to. But where I stand today is, I think the perfect litmus test is, um, for men and women, save yourself to marriage if you can, if you can. But it's interesting to see the guy that's going to see you enough in his future mind state that you're it. So you're not giving me no sex now. It's perfect because I got this vision that I see you in, baby, and that's where you gonna be. That's where we gonna be. I ain't tripping off that. I'm already there. So that's cool. That helps me be on my shit. Let's get it. That's a different type of motherfucker right there. I'm just telling you, that's different. And perhaps could be the one. The question would become, how long is the one? Because we all want to play to death, but there's a way to maintain that, and things that we never talk about that we should talk about, right? But anyway, that's that. Seriously. And on a spiritual note, it's, man, listen, the alchemical wedding, the sex date, is more important than the actual physical wedding, because that's the day that your fluids interchange, and fluids interchanging, and let's say you got pregnant, during that time, is way more impactful than a physical ceremony called a wedding. I just want to be clear about that. Okay. So the alchemical wedding is the day you're supposed to get married on. I've been told women this many years ago, because again, cycles within cycles. You don't want to have your marriage date be in opposition, or at a time that's not good, at a strenuous time, to um your first sex date. You don't want that. These cycles must be within each other. And this is the science between why the virgin um doesn't lose her virginity until she becomes the bride. You understand? Because those cycles are on the same day. That makes perfect sense. Duh. Honeymoon, sex, right? Like, we're one, but you already became one on another cycle, another day in the past, another point in space. You don't know if that endpoint is at a strenuous position. Like, you don't know this. You know what I'm saying? For real. I swear to God, this shit is very real. You know what I mean? And so it creates chaos. So we got to have a little bit more. This what baffles me too. Like, men, this is what men got to step their game up too, right? Because I'm gonna tell y'all something for real, for real. And I know the Tates be, and bitches be talking about their chakras and all that nonsense. No, 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 nigga, that's a science. That we not gonna do that. That's a science, right? I get the gist of the conversation, but women been up in men in the realm of spiritual information. And that shit could be very threatening to the what we will call an alpha male who doesn't have the capacity for spiritual knowledge. So I'm saying that to say, I know from experience. I got the call last month. When the call, in the middle of the conversation, I feel like my period coming on. When my period coming? Hold up. Yep, Sunday. This weekend. I say Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, I'm clocking, and I'm clocking looking at the moon. So a woman come on her cycle around me, I'm off rip. I'm noting where the moon was at, and if she's in tune with that feminine aspect of Earth Moon relationship, When the moon comes back there again, 28, 29 days later, she'd be on her period again if she's on that cycle, right? And she may be on a whole nother cycle, and that's another conversation. My point is, that's how much you're supposed to know your woman. And not just your woman, the laws of nature or what's really happening. You understand what I'm saying? Woman is, again, the personification of, the aspect of this divine play that we in. But we got to up our shit, though. Real shit. We got to up our shit, And so, yeah, I think those are some things we need to know for the fellas and for the ladies. You know what I'm saying? Run that motherfucking marriage test and shit. Nigga bounced on my daughter, and she was talking about, I'm gonna wait till I get married. Man, he didn't see himself with her. You know what I'm saying? Listen, man. The moment of the sweet release is a fleeting moment. It's a fleeting moment, right? So if you get yourself there without giving up the aspect of yourself, then may not be the way you want to, per se. But you know how it is. You can get trapped in negative cycles of sex and trauma. You know what I'm saying? You can get trapped in these cycles, Trust me. How do I know? I've lived long enough to tell you this. And I think we all can relate to that. We grown. We can relate to it. But we talking about being born again of Christ. Being born again. They own something with that. To be born again. Go give it to the Catholic priest. Be born again. All right. All right, man. I'm gonna get out of here, man. I'm messing with y'all and shit. But yeah, good. That's very good. Very good. Alphas, they fit in with you. All right. Yeah. Bobby, that's my guy, man. Bobby is on my Mount Rushmore. You know what I'm saying? Jew is on my Mount Rushmore. And I'll put Jewel Pooker on there as well. You know what I'm saying? And if I don't put myself on Mount Rushmore, and then I will have to, I may have to put Sabi on Rushmore, man. Sabi was a phenomenon, man. Sabi, salute to Dr. Sabi, man, for showing you again the government is on our side. I don't care what nobody tell me. I don't give a fuck, nigga. The government's on our side. The moment that it's not on our side, I'm gonna tell you that's a Confederate, and please point them out to the Union soldier. I deal personally with all Confederate issues. Okay, just let me know, and we gonna handle that. All right, that's our jurisdiction over here, dealing in these good old United States of America. The Confederate states were belligerent, enemy combatants who committed treason. Okay, and attempted to form their own nation. And to Grant and William T. Sherman got in that ass. Uncle Billy, William T. Sherman. Now, make me go get my picture. Make me go get it. No, hold on. They think I'm playing. No, I'm not playing. I said United States of America. Hold on, let me change the pictures out. I said the government is not against us. It is for us. For the people, by the people. It is for us. Hold on. Where's it at here? Yep, I did say it. Yep. Oh, shoot. There we go. This guy here. Hey, I found the white racist dude's kryptonite. Right here. That's his kryptonite. He can't defeat them. They kicked that white slave master's ass. William T. Sherman. What? Ulysses Grant. What? Abe Lincoln. David Porter. Nigga, David Porter was an admiral of the boat on the Mississippi River, gunning at the Confederate with cannons. What you talking about? White supremacy. What? I don't. No. Don't tell that story. These dudes right here put that work in. Even if it wasn't, I want it to be racism. Because now I can show you how that shit was defeated. And now we don't have to carry that bitch ass slave gene perception into our current reality, creating more Harriet Tubmans. God damn, dysfunctional males are creating Harriet Tubmans. Scared ass niggas. I'm telling you, man. I swear for God, I believe that shit. I believe it. I do. I do. Want to tell you here's the problem. I'm gonna tell you why I think it's gonna be very rare that a motherfucker's gonna take me up on my challenge on this Lincoln shit. Very rare. Because at the end of the day, the core argument that somebody is telling me about white supremacy is that they believe that whites are supreme, because that's why they're talking about their supremacy. I'm saying, no, it's not. If you want to call it that little evil ideology that they had of racism and slavery, I'm telling you, it got defeated. And black people was a part of it. Call United States Colored Troop, nigga. Look it up. Yeah, United States Colored Troops. What you talking about? You ain't even there, and you talking about white supremacy. But the slaves who were there ran, got free, got on the Union side, and came back with guns. I repeat, Colonel James Montgomery gave Harriet Tubman guns. You indebted to them. So for me to walk around here talking about what the Confederates did, that's mental treason against the whole shit that making it that got us where we at, where we could be bosses. Man, niggas is buying wing stops. Niggas own their own entertainment companies. Tyler Perry got his own goddamn Hollywood in Atlanta. Like, I'm seeing a whole lot of damn success around here. Do it mean racism don't exist? Absolutely not. It don't mean racism don't exist. I'm not saying that. Right? I'm not saying that at all. Right? I'm not saying that. What I am saying is there's a whole lot of success. And since it was always on our side, because that's obvious, it was on our side, we ain't got a goddamn thing to worry about. The most immediate threat had been over. We're afraid because we got that trauma coding that something like that's gonna happen again. So we be saying shit like the King Alfred plan and the government gonna put us in FEMA camps on the next federal disaster that come. That's their way they're gonna try to get us. No, they're not. No, they're not. They are not. Hurricane Katrina come, you beg for the government for help. What are you talking about? See, I really want to challenge the narrative of some shit. Cause you know what I really think as men. Again, I give women who pass, and I don't like women when they be CEOs, but I understand you probably need to be a CEO. I don't like that shit because it be a certain level of masculinity that's there that I ain't really feeling like that in men on the men's side. Something's missing and whatnot. But you serve a beautiful purpose. I can totally understand that. But here's my thing, y'all. Here's my thing. Here's my thing. Oh, I'm crazy, man. I'm crazy. I'll be bugging out. I can admit that shit. I'll be bugging the fuck out, man. But anyway, man. I ain't upholding that shit, y'all. I just can't, man. I'm sorry. I cannot uphold beliefs that there's another guy that's superior than us. I can't uphold the belief that, the two parties is really one party. Like, no, they're not. They are not. They are so not. They're so not. They're not. They're not. They're not. Do we need to collectively get together? I saw some Umar said, I think it was Umar. Yeah. We black people won't have you won't have a person in office until you buy the person in office. And that's the name of the game. Your collective empowerment. Duh. It's people who make millions of dollars just being at Washington lobbying. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. You got to have special interests. The government's here for regulation and not here to give you jobs, man. The sooner we, so that means this is a country of bosses. In a country, it's really ain't even that. It's really a country of partnerships, because you have the people who are called the visionaries who will create something, but that creation ain't nothing if you ain't got an integrator, right? So you got to have an integrator, a COO, the person that know how to do the operations, and that's just gonna stay in your head. But the people who are operational bound and they don't necessarily create, they work better off of bringing their creativity to something that already got, to an idea in a sense, right? So they go hand in hand. That's that yin and yang. But to get the process started, the yang, the masculine spark, right? The fire, the air, the spark, the outgoing energy. That outgoing energy is the bosses who have to create, because you're going to always have more employees than you do founders. So when you're driving today and you look at any building, whether it's a pizza shop or whether it's a tall building, all places of work, I guarantee you, if they got W-2 employees, they more employees than there are founders. That's why it's usually one founder and CEO, at best two in a sense, right? So there will always, the analytical feminine component always will be more in quantity than the masculine yang component. You got to understand that. You do. You have to understand that. Always, 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 always. In the moment, see, we don't be wanting to have these conversations of understanding. Don't start talking no poly stuff, man, because then people feelings, they get in their feelings, they get in their feelings, they get in their feelings when it's time to talk about that. Ooh wee. Oh wee. I ain't gonna even do it. But you need to have understanding. That is the key. You don't have to agree to something to understand something. That's you don't they're like those two are not requirements. Okay? Like you do not. I don't have to agree to it to understand its function. I can understand that I personally think Democrats lost their mind. I personally think that they forever lost it. The Democratic Party, bro, like it's don't worry, I'm doing the video on them next. Like the Democratic Party, I don't know that the Confederates was in that party. The KKK, when they take their sheets off, they go back into office and they registered as Democrats, man. I don't really play with them dudes like that. They start with Andrew Jackson. I'm gonna do something on him, and that's why Spirit moving Harriet Tubman to replace him. But y'all don't see the play. Y'all see play. If you, Andrew Jackson is very interesting gangster. Went down to Florida. Florida it was Spanish Florida. So Spain owned that. The legend is the slaves would team up with some of the Creek natives, southern Georgia, and we'd go over into Florida, and it was a place called Fort Negro. And Jackson, when he was a general in the army, like fuck that, we attacking Fort Negro, we killing y'all, and off in chains the rest of y'all going into slavery. Let's go, get your shit, let's go. Hey, listen, Andrew Jackson was a beast, nigga. Andrew Jackson was spitting bars. Andrew Jackson had an election against John Quincy Adams, John Adams' son, right? And Andrew Jackson's campaign was something like, vote for Andrew Jackson, a man who can fight, not John Quincy Adams, a man who can write. I said, this nigga, he's spitting bars. But he was a gangster. He was a general in the war. You know what I'm saying? So he was Andrew Jackson just is what it is. He a gangster. That's your Trail of Tears. That's who gonna make your Native Americans walk. Right? Now I got a bone to pick with Native Americans. You know what I'm saying? I do. We gotta have some real conversation here because the history book ain't showing you went like the Haitian niggas. And I got a problem if slavery was taking place on your land and you're sitting there, you like, really think about this shit. This gets me, and I'm gonna be honest as a motherfucker on this show. I'm sorry. Listen, you cannot be a Native American and say this is your land, it's your shit. Hey, homie, that's my shit. That's your shit up there. All right, Chief Crow Nose, that's your shit. Chief Turtleneck, this my shit. Some white boys come on shit and they got slaves on here and they beating their ass. You see women crying, you see children and shit, you see them beat the man, and you ain't team up with your people and be like, yo, we gotta fuck them up. These strangers brought some slaves on our land, man. We gotta ride on them. We fucking them up. Like I don't see that. I don't see that in the history, man. I don't. History does not show black people got free or there was this big ass fight from an attempt of Native American nations banding together to try to out the white man to free slaves. In fact, history says, hey, Mr. Cherokee, Chickasaw, Choctaw, Creek, you participated with the Confederacy because you was down there when at the time of the Civil War and you had slaves. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You had slaves. So even if you didn't have slaves, I'm just mad. And I can admit it. I'm mad, puzzled that y'all didn't do shit. Now, to me, this is how this works. I don't care what nobody tell me. See, if you believe in karma, then you believe in it. If not, then it's no need to have a conversation. Again, we talking about thoughts and actions when I say karma. Well, since you did nothing, your lands is going to be taken. Very interesting, too, because immediately after the Civil War, what did black people who were in the United States colored troops do? They became who? The Buffalo Soldiers. Where did they get that name from? Native Americans who said, oh, shit, these black niggas, I don't know if they said nigga, but these black niggas got hair, shit, look like a buffalo. So Buffalo Soldier. That's what they said. Now you got blacks going at the natives. You mean to tell me we the same people and we like I ain't buying it in totality yet, right? Something I would have to study. But my point is, these cats sat back and didn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? Not a damn thing. You know what I'm saying? Tecumseh just wanted the white man up out of here. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't specifically, hey man, I see these black women and these black children are being affected by, this dude getting castrated and all this shit. Man, listen, man. I say this, I did a lot of bigging up on women, I think, but women, as I say, you're off the hook, but you're not off the hook. I'll say this to you in closing. Because I got some real estate work to do. All right. Women, you have to be very careful and know that when a man is with you, he is willing to die for you. And I don't know if you are aware of that every single day, but when a man goes outside with you just to enjoy anything, the pleasures of life, there's a program running that says, I have to be on point and make sure I'm good, she's good in an extreme worst case scenario. Women, don't take this the wrong way. I'm talking military strategy here. Women and children are a weakness on the battlefield. And that's why it breaks my heart when I see Harriet Tubman and I see, even when I did the video with Six the Goddess, beautiful. It breaks my heart when women have to get in this level of the fight because it throws the balance of the nuclear family extremely off. Okay? But you have to know that your actions with your guy, your man, whoever it may be, right? You have to know, you absolutely have to know that he's willing to put it on the line for you. And you cannot allow your actions to dictate that particular state. You understand what I'm saying? And so you have to be the best version that you could be. Because you have to think about a partner who is putting it on the line for you. Whereas that kind of pressure is not on women. To somebody breaking the house, I don't expect you to be my front line. I'm sorry. It don't mean that you can't. It don't mean that you ain't got the Hellcat pistol, and she do. It don't mean like she and give it to you. I'm not saying that you can't. I'm just not expecting that as a man. I'm not. But again, women, you have to be very mindful to the extent. This is why, listen, men fight and go to war and die and kill over sex. Okay? And so, in a nutshell, as we've seen with some stories of David, or we've seen with Samson and Delilah, there is a powerful correlation here between the female and male energy and the extremities that this thing can go. So you have a profound, you're a custodian, like you got to trust. Like if trust is such a thing for women, not saying that it ain't so for men, right? When you understand, again, I'm ahead of my time, man. I'm about to put that in the Patreon next. In fact, I'm doing that right now. The 25 homophones of love and money. Wrote that a couple years ago. Like there's words of endearment that we express with each other that is really financial terms, trust, appreciation. When something appreciated is going up in value, right? So trust, appreciate, like it's all kind of bond. I want that bond with you. You know what I'm saying? That's a financial instrument. I want to feel secure, security. Those are financial instruments too. You know what I'm saying? So there's financial terms that we're using through love languages and whatnot. All right. But if you understand the trust, ladies, that's primarily one of your things, your main thing, I would say. But the person that's really in charge of the trust outside of what we call an executor would definitely be a custodian. Okay. And so a man is entrusting his life with you with a, I would say with a unconscious understanding that um you are going to guard that and make the best decisions possible. You know what I'm saying? As it pertains to him putting his life on the line for you. It's the best I can articulate. That's a heavy responsibility because it's not the other way around. Okay. Okay. This is why you have to, I am going to say, I am going to say, husband material. Don't give it up until you get married. Again, if you already been married. And boy, that sounds like an extreme shit. It's energy, man. Like it's energy. You know what I'm saying? It's energy. So I ain't gonna even get into it. It's energy, man. I have been on this thing for 2 hours and 41 minutes, man. You know, shout out to my homie Anton Daniels, man, for letting me come on his show. Appreciate the support. For those of you who've come over and said you was checking out, you actually subbed to the channel. I appreciate you and whatnot. Again, I'm just testing this out in the sense of getting beginning, but it's so much stuff that we have loaded and only gonna get better with time. We can only get better in time with your support. Liking the button, clicking the like button is free. So we ask you to click that, share it with a person as well, but definitely subscribe and hit your notifications on so we can just boost all points of this algorithm out and make great information. Like I say this all the time. When you over here, it's supposed to be like this, especially in the beginning. Like this shit is a whole nother level of a conversation that I'm confident that I don't really think it's no other conversation that's taking place. And I don't want to be egotistical about some shit. But at the same time, like over here, myself, Minister Jew, we be having conversations, and we had a conversation with y'all, as you know, like we together are having a conversation like, hey, did you know takes the planet Uranus 84 years to go in one full circle? Yeah. And did you know at the time when the country first started, at the Declaration of Independence, the American Revolutionary War, the planet Uranus was in Gemini. And then the next time it came back 84 years later, it just so happened to be the Civil War. And then the next time it came back in the 1940s, it just so happened to be World War II. Whoa, shit. We ain't on the fourth cycle. We on that now. That's like 20, 25, 26. Oh shit. What? Time out, nigga. We just went back to the inception of the country. And every time, and it's an 84-year cycle, we start every time it's there, Uranus and Gemini, there's war. And we're like 2 years away from that right now. Like, oh shit. Whoa. So the conversation is different. It's different. And to be able to say, listen, turn all that noise off. That's noise. Turn all that noise off. Focus on your personal reality, which we do as a culture so well. Just fuck up some commas. We running up M. Man, my nigga 40. Man, what you see how much? Listen, y'all see how much damn crates and warehouses of booze is going through E40 Fonzarelli pipeline right now? Man, listen, people getting paid. So again, that level of success is not matching the level of fear that we don't produce and do the right thing. Meaning, Trump said this, and I'm gonna get off this because this was about Trump, and we did that in the first part. Trump is looking for 10 cities to develop, buy some federal land. Hint, hint, buy some federal land. I'm telling you the game. I'm giving you the game of reparations. Federal land and turn them into 10 smart tech type cities, right? The smart cities. 10 of them. It's plenty of land out here to do that. Shout out to Kanye. Now, I know I hear you. I don't want to be in Wyoming. It's cold. I don't want to be in Florida. It's too sunny and there's too many Lamborghinis and girls are naked everywhere. I don't want to be in Miami. I don't want to be in Atlanta because the gay population is too much. I don't want to be in the South because they racist. I don't want to be in Texas. It's too hot and they carry guns and it's different in Texas. Here in California, crazy. Like, hell no, Chicago, too cold and too crazy. Like, we're going to always make it up excuse. We're going to always find it. But here's the kicker. It only takes the majority that say, yay, here's the resource. This the plug. This is what we doing. That's it. That's it. That's it. Don't worry. I'm going to lay it all out through legislation of old that was in our favor. Because this is like, the shit been there. The shit is so old and easy, it's been there. We standing on this. And that's what this is. And that's what we gonna get. You better vote Trump. Because you need somebody that's gonna make a deal to get your shit done. This whole thing is about business, man. What are you talking about? It's about business. I thought I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman, right? I thought that was the slogan. Oh, it is? Okay. Level up. This is what we buying. Oh, federal land? Bam. And we getting the federal land prorated off inflation based off what the acre cost back then, 1862. 1862, if you don't know, I'm talking about the Homestead Act. Yeah. So if it was $1 an acre, adjusted to today's price of inflation, let's just say it's $60 an acre. Okay. We buying federal land acres at $60, the equivalent of to what it cost back then. And that's what we're doing. When you start reading the bylaws, because I really thought it was going to open up in Detroit, right? And not to say that it ain't. To create a village, you only need like X amount of signatures and stuff like that. You know how much county space there is in a county that's not incorporated by the current city? You know how many counties have unincorporated cities? All cities are incorporated. It's a business. Create a city, rich niggas. That's it. You can create it, or you can have one that already exists. Atlanta, you can have one that already exists. So then once you do that aspect of it, I promise I'm getting off with this. Antagonize the masculine aspect of this thing. Please buy a prison. Please stop crying about it was privatized. That means corporations. You can form a corporation. You can do that. You can invest in this corporation as well. But again, if you're all about correction, then guess what? I say the Nation of Islam, Fruit of Islam, are in control of creating and staffing our own correctional facility. Why not? Why not? Am I tripping? Everybody walk around here all disciplined up anyway. Well respected. Why not? I thought the government was bad. So do we want the government to control the corrections process? Or should it be a free market where corporations can engage in this destructive thing called the prison pipeline? Buy prison. Yeah. Come on, let's really up our shit. And see, to me, in my opinion, the way I start looking at shit would be, wait a minute, didn't Jay-Z through Rock Nation file something on the federal level about maybe some, was it Louisiana? Some southern prison system? Racist? Yeah. Wait a minute. Didn't they rule in Jay-Z's favor? Like, yeah, I think you're on to something, Mr. Carter. We will be looking into this. Oh, wow. Wow. That's see that's what I'm saying. Dr. Sabi, the judge didn't tell Dr. Sabi, we got you, we arresting you. You can't cure nobody. That's a lie. You're going to jail. The judge said, oh shit, not guilty. What was the white supremacy button in that? Again, Jay-Z's winning like legal cases. Where's the oh they're on that side. And see, that's what I don't like. And I know that's why I think it's gonna be really hard for somebody to step up on the mic because we start making up shit. And you can't prove that these people then traded and went to the damn system. You have absolutely no proof of that. But meanwhile, court cases is being thrown out and things are being ruled in your favor, and the empowerment aspect of what's taking place is unprecedented. Unprecedented. But we're gonna make up an excuse on why what that success is under a negative narrative is dangerous to me. That's so chicken George to me. And it don't mean that people ain't dirty. If you got the truth is what it is. It just is what it is. But like we always say, but what if it ain't that? What if it ain't that? Now what? Again, Dr. Sabi was not guilty. Oh, okay. Mike P, what up? You know what I'm saying? Like, then what? All right. So we need to get our own shit, man. We can do it so many ways. We can do it. And it's already done. It really is. It really is. It's already done, man. It's already done. All right. So I'm gonna get up out of here. Because I'll keep going and going and going and going. We almost 3 hours deep. Yeah, that's the shit that be on my mind, man. 3 hours deep, and we ain't scratched nothing. Like I said, tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. I'm telling you, ladies, fellas, ladies, if you're watching, because I think a man should be the one to take up the mic. If you saw the email went out, everybody got it. If anybody's around, it just happened to be around and they disagree, then they disagree. That's cool. I don't think nobody coming though. You know what I'm saying? And that could just simply be because everybody around is already on the same page. We know what time it is because we family, and that's why we around each other. You know what I'm saying? But I did have some clapbacks. I had some responses from good old Abe Lincoln. You know what I mean? So salute to the two brothers who made the comments and whatnot. Again, I extended the invitation. Please come on out. You know what I'm saying? Shoot the email so I can get you on the panel on the back end. Plus in the chat, I'm gonna drop the links. Anybody who want to come on can come on. And the only people I really want to come on is people who got something to say they got smoke. But Abe Lincoln, I'm telling you, I didn't heard these stories. These stories are absolutely true. What was said, but we're not putting everything in its proper context. And I'm just gonna lay it down. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. Who won't smoke with Lincoln? All right. I'm gonna have to show y'all the picture again to show you that it's really real. I'm serious. This thing is real. All right. Who won't smoke with Lincoln? You know, I just want to know. You know, you ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna let you get that off. You ain't gonna listen, man. Y'all go Google. Did Abe Lincoln shot on the 14th, died on the 15th, right? somebody fact check that for me, right? I should know that, right? But I bet you that's what it was. Somebody fact check that for me. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, so tomorrow it says, and look, I ain't do this shit on purpose. This is how you know. I told y'all I'm doing this shit out of spirit. Like I didn't purposely sit back and say, "Hey, I'm gonna do this show when Abe Lincoln's anniversary date is." If I did, I did. I'm an astrologer. I'll tell you, I purposely planned it to do that. I have no problem aligning actions up with time in the future. I have no problem doing that, right? But I'm telling you, I didn't, and it's just the spirit of things is moving. And so tomorrow would be the anniversary date of when Lincoln actually got shot. And then he would make his transition to the mystic order of the ethers the next day on the 15th. So I can't let nobody get this off on Lincoln because the man again died. He lost his life in front of his wife. And I thought that, again, like I said, women and children are a weakness. And this is what I mean, ladies, in warfare. This man is chilling with his wife and ain't no guard behind him. And John Wilkes Booth come up behind Lincoln and shoot him in the head. Didn't give a fuck about his wife being there. You see, Lincoln's guard is relaxed because he with his girl. You understand? And so, if to me, I mean, this is just military shit you got to pay attention to, and we got to note that in history. But to die like that ain't cool. That ain't cool. So I can't any black person trying to write it off like it's some other shit. He was on some other shit. Like if he was on so much other shit, to be on other shit mean he agreed with the South. You know what I'm saying? Like that wasn't the case. Again, they wouldn't have killed each other in the Civil War if that's the case. So then if we want to act like it's a total different scenario, I'm ready to have that conversation because that's so easy to see. White people don't have no problem telling the truth. Niggas be lying, y'all. I'm telling y'all, niggas be lying. Niggas lie, make up all kind of shit when it come to history. Ain't took the time out to read shit. The most crucial conflict of this black and white issue by far is slavery. And niggas who talk any form of liberation, who got something to say, here's the key, who got something to say about Lincoln, can't tell you one fucking battlefield outside of Gettysburg. Can't tell you one war general, can't tell you one person who died on your behalf, can't tell you shit about it. But yet will start making up stories just to sound deep. I don't like that shit. That shit is not flying whatsoever. It's not. So, if you honestly believe that, step your ass on up here. Because this is going to be done so eloquently. I'm going to mute my mic and not say a word. And that's what's missing in this whole thing on YouTube, period, is people yelling over each other and you can't really have you don't really see no great point of conversation that's hip. I ain't talking about some old history stuff and it's boring as hell, but it's informative. So you gotta sit there because it's the older baby boomers that's teaching it. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about within our culture, talking about what's up. You know what I'm saying? There's no cohesive conversation, and it's easy. Mute the goddamn mic. Let a person say what they say, and when you finish, this is how you're gonna present it. The rule is, I yield the mic. Once I say I yield the mic, you on mute. Next, have this conversation. So if you want smoke with Lincoln, be there tomorrow, man. 8:30 p.m. Eastern, right here. Spiritual Politics. Next up, new moon eclipse in Aries coming, y'all. It's coming. In the realm, Blue Aries is coming in the realm. So eclipses are very powerful points, represent them things are like pinchers. If you got a planet here, definite activation. You should really be in the Patreon because some content has already been released in the Patreon talking about this. But I'm going to do something here on Hip Hop Astrology TV on the main YouTube, Hip Hop Astrology TV, because we go from it's 8 signs that can be affected by this through general knowledge. And what I mean by that is, excuse me, what I mean by that is, um, you got the cardinal signs, Aries, because it starts in Aries. So opposite Aries is Libra. And then the 2 on the side is going to be Capricorn and Cancer. So those 4 are affected. But this eclipse takes place on 29 degrees Aries. Don't you know? In less than an hour, the moon will be in Taurus. In less than an hour. So now Taurus is a fixed sign. So that becomes Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius. Those 4 energies become activated. So while we paying attention to Aries and not paying attention that this really is going to take place on the cusp and these other energies can be affected, you think just because you ain't an Aries, you ain't got nothing to do with this shit. Wrong. Wrong. So tune in, Hip Hop Astrology TV. That's going to be Saturday at 1 p.m. I'm going early, church time. I can't be messing around at night all the time with y'all. I'm an old dude. All right. And again, I hope y'all enjoyed tonight's presentation. Was Trump good for Black America? I will say so, but you still can't touch some of the goats, man. And those goats being Grant, those goats being Lincoln, you know what I'm saying? And I can take it back. A lot of niggas don't know. A lot of niggas don't like James Monroe. Monroe was a beast, nigga. Don't man, listen. Don't get me started on my founding father game. My boy, the country is missing founding fathers. Man, listen, ladies, don't let them get y'all with the bullshit patriarchy shit. Black woman, you ain't never seen a black man in America be your king. Don't fall for the patriarchy bullshit. That is a way to get you to not be in harmony with the masculine figure. The black man ain't never been motherfucking king. And I pointed out absolutely in the past the biggest coward, probably not even worthy to be king. Probably, right? All I'm saying is, only thing we got to do is turn that fucking switch off and activate the kingship within, and it's game over. And that's what you see is all. It's like you see it done because there's so many individual successes. Man, y'all ain't watching this shit and looking at motherfucking Yo Gotti. Just put on motherfucking Black Youngster. He the motherfucking put on motherfucking Moneybag Yo. He the motherfucking put on motherfucking Finesse 2 times is on. What's my young girl name and shit? Motherfucking with my ratchet ass friends, right? I'm drawing the blank, and her whole clique is motherfucking fire. I don't give a fuck what y'all tell me. Ratchet as hell, but y'all gotta understand that. Y'all gotta understand the beautiful dichotomy in this shit. You know what I'm saying? Glorilla and shit. So big up Glow. You know, like, listen, man. There's so much success. There's things that we can tweak in every sector, but the bigger picture is we're really there. There meaning the only thing we have to do is implement the collective will of what we want so we can stop being under this state of stress. Okay? That's it. Like if we ain't set a person down, you telling me we ain't got to the point now where we said, hey, Maxine Waters, this is exactly what's going to happen when you get in there. Whoever you want to call, right? This is exactly what it is. Hey, Ron DeSantis. Hey, Ron. Since St. Augustine is the oldest city in Florida, and, you know, slaves was there, and Florida was the land of the free, where historically, again, Spanish Florida, black slaves would come over there. And we know we have Fort Negro over there on the Panhandle. We need to carve out some of these counties right here and let us build the whole infrastructure of it and give us some assistance from the state level. You think they ain't gonna be with it? We ain't giving you nothing. We don't live in a time where the government said they ain't giving you nothing. The problem is you don't know how to organize and select and say go represent that. What, y'all not watching Harlem Godfather? Like, hello, y'all not watching this shit on Sunday and seeing how Bumpy Johnson and Malcolm X is doing anything, and my man that's supposed to be Adam Clayton. But we're there. We just haven't made the collective agreement. That's all that's missing. You wait. It's gonna take root. The message gonna take root. It's gonna take it, and we gonna make it because we already made it. All right. All right, man. I think I'm finally getting out of here on the three. We on the three ball. God damn, we on the three ball. That's long. That's long. And y'all with me for 3 hours? Y'all special, man. I feel damn. Thank you. That's humbling. Cause I could have lost myself somewhere in the conversation. You know what I mean? And you still here. You're special. We're part of that elite class that's studying the real form of causation. You know what I'm saying? The real form of causation, and that's where it is. All right. So again, join me on the Patreon, though, man. Join me on the Patreon. I told you what I'm gonna do to this spot right here. About to build this out. This is my real estate boardroom. But I'm gonna build this out to content creation. Basically, it's gonna be our visual studio back here. You know what I'm saying? And do my real estate in those two parts of the office, and do our thing. So your support on Patreon just helps me out and doing what we do. And in return, I'm gonna give you the cosmic sauce, man. For real. For real. Like I'm about to go upload the workbook. 25 homophones of love and marriage. We need to play flashcards with each other. You know what I'm saying? And most importantly, we need to know the financial term. So if I say bond, you got to say the definition, or if I say the definition, you got to say the word. You know what I'm saying? We already know how we mean it to each other in relationship, but what is the financial term that we're using? And we got a little over 25 homophones inside of there. You know what I'm saying? And that, to me, that was like fucking crazy. Like, wait a minute. We use 25 words that are related to how we relate to one another. And we do. We do. All right. All right. So thank y'all for joining me. Make sure I ain't missing these two comments that's right here. But be sure to get at me. That Patreon down there that's flowing. All right, get at me. And I'll see y'all tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. All right. Peace.